Millimeter, it be accurately measured. It's measured flat, direction up and down. Flat level we at, flight over ground. Descending from that breeze, heading in degrees. Horizontal, flat, ESC. Now you know it's flat, below ground. Measured flat.
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere, and there's also a PayPal, Ko-Fi, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patreons, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So, a massive shout of thanks and appreciation to Sven P, Curved Fart, Pablo de la Cruz, Level Plain Poem, Vitali Z, Colton James, Survive the Spin, Thomas van der Zander, Measured Flat, Tiers Morgan, Mitch Kennedy, Rod, The Name's Burley, JMels 24, Unimento, Iron 26, Retro Bill, John Kays, Patrick Gunnels, Bob Barker, Mobile Mac 777, Rob W, Del West Watson, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Abraham Mohammed, Skeptic 936, Texas Mike, Chow Young Cat, and Dank. So another massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Links, as I say, to Patreon are below this video. But with that, I will hand across to whoever is in Discord and Google, so you can enjoy their dulcet tones while I set up for today's live show. Say that again, Len.
I said, is it roasting down where you are?
Yes.
I'm currently hiding underneath a tree because it's far too hot to do anything.
Yeah, it's very, very hot here. I've got the fan on. I've got all the windows open. It's probably not going to be great audio. I was tempted to not do a show when I was editing something earlier. It's so hot. But, you know. Here we are. Neil vanished.
Why don't you go into the English hub? That's part of politics.
What does that mean?
I'll see if I can send a link. It's the same. It's politics, but it's English hub.
I don't know what does that mean? The English hub, is it part of this room that you've said? You said I should go in politics. I'm in politics. You're saying there's a separate server called the English hub?
Yeah, it's part of politics. They
okay.
branched off and got an English hub. Let me see if I got the link.
Can you guys hear my fan when I'm talking?
No, it sounds perfectly silent, Nathan. You're worrying too much.
Fine. I've angled my mic such that it's in the dead zone of the mic, so hopefully it's just rejecting it.
I can't hear it over the fan from my computer that's right next.
You can't hear it over your fan?
No.
That or not have a show. I'll turn it off during the intro. Further than that,
there's nobody in there, Nathan. There's nobody in the 24/7 in the English hub either. They're in all different other rooms like veganism and all that other crap, but
well, that's
no
okay. That's probably better. Send us a link. People can join us rather than the other way around. Rather than us joining some random politics server that's not specifically about what we cover and interrupting a discussion, or just sitting there not interacting with them while they discuss something that isn't related for an hour. If we go into the, what do you say it was called, English hub, we can sit in there, talk amongst ourselves, and then if somebody happens to join, then so be it.
Now, let me try to send this to Mr. B.
Okay.
How do you do this? Okay. Copy phone.
Check if my chat works. Yep.
All right, good. It's a mess to be.
Open Discord. What is your English level proficiency? What are you interested in? Interested in any of this? What is this?
I don't know. That's the link to the server. If you're gonna do that, then just go to 24/7 and go in any of the other rooms there.
Ah, that's the one that I needed to look at then, 24/7. I mean, I'm in here now. I don't mind occasionally doing this, but now I've actually faffed around to get into the English hub. Whatever this is, I don't think I've ever been in here because it's saying I need to join as a new invitee. Okay, fine. So where do I go? FE stage?
Yeah, you can go there.
Why is it playing music? That's annoying. What room should I go in, Neil?
Let's see. Maybe go in the a lot of veganism has a lot of people in there.
I don't want to talk to vegans.
Politics and religion, 24/7 flyer Discord. Go in there and people will join. There's
24/7.
nobody in there.
There's a room called 24/7 Flat Earth Discord.
Yes,
yes.
right under politics and religion.
Looks like you're in another voice channel. Confirm.
There you go.
It got rid of the music. Yes, it has. Okay. So I'm in the, just for my intro, English hub, the English hub, in the 24/7 Flat Earth Discord section. Okay. Cool. This is run by the same people who run politics.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. You want to do a sound check for me, Neil, in Discord? Say something. Not hearing you, Neil. Your light's not flashing either. Well, that was a good sound check.
Mic check.
Yeah, that works. Can you just
There
speak
you
to
go.
Len? Say hello, Len.
What's up, Len?
Yo.
Yeah, that all works fine. Good, good, good. Okay, we're all set. We'll do the show from here today. How long we got? 25 minutes. Yeah, we need to have a little chit chat about whatever we're going to chit chat about in the meantime. Got nothing to drink. I need to get my wife to go and get some pop or something. Some bottles of water.
I'll talk about something. Was that Len? That was the most amazing freaking thing I seen yesterday.
Is this going to be about the football?
What's up, football?
Yes, because Argentina was down 2-0, and I was figuring that's it. They're done. Defending champs are out. And then, like, out of nowhere, they scored a goal close to like the 70-minute mark. Then they put 2 more on the freaking board and beat them. I was so glad. Who the hell wants to root for Egyptian pharaohs? As they bow down and worship Allah, that shit pisses me off. But I'll tell you what, the
What?
one guy pisses me off because Allah's not God.
Oh,
Plain and
God.
simple. It's a fact. It's not God. Muhammad's not a prophet. Anyway, there's one guy, Salah, that plays for, I think he plays for Liverpool in the Premier League. Did I say that right?
Yes, Liverpool. That's
He-
correct.
Yes.
He was a gentleman. Like the other guys were flipping out. He just pushed his teammates away, shook the 2 refs' hands, and left. Because they were going crazy because what happened was 1-0. Now, what do you call it? Argentina's got the ball on their end, right? There's a tackle being made. The guy steps on the Argentinian player's foot, takes the ball away. I mean, and they go all the way upfield and they score. VAR takes a look at it and deems it was a penalty. So they took that goal away. But freaking 5 minutes later, they scored anyway. So they made it 2-0 anyway. Now they're trying to say it should have been 3-0. I don't give a shit. If that's the way you're going to look at it, then it would have been 3-3. Of course, they scored 3 goals, Argentina. Anyway, it was a cool game. And Liam got me into this shit. Blame him.
Anyway, Neil, I've been meaning to mention, like with the World Cup, and it is with teams from all over the world. You Yanks like to call things World Series when it's pretty much just used that play of the sports. Does the World Cup open your eyes to this fact?
It is the World Series. America was the only team that played baseball, so we won the world. America is the world. When are you guys going to get it? But I'll tell you what, I think they should have something like that with baseball because a lot of countries are playing baseball now. They got the World Baseball Classic that's like right before the season. There's like a 5 or 6 game run, or I think who won it the last time that it just happened? I think Brazil won. Was it Brazil? I don't know. Somebody beat us. Venezuela won. They beat the Americans in baseball. So it's like you get the best players from all different teams. Like they're all from Major League Baseball, but they'll go to their respective countries to play against an American team. But that was a good game too because Bryce Harper hits a home run to tie the game in the freaking 9th inning, but then they wound up losing in the bottom half of the inning. I think it was Venezuela. You had Italy in there. Italy had a good run. So they may be trying to do something like that. Or the World Baseball Classic. That's pretty good. Oh, the Viking is in here. What's up, Viking? Do you have to say, you have to give me a mic check because we're in a new server. Are you Tack Mind the Viking or is that a different Viking?
That was a good discussion. I'm glad we had this.
I'm trying to find out if the Viking is Tack Mind the Viking or is that a different guy? I guarantee he's answering me in chat.
We should definitely do this again.
Well, let's give it time. See who joins us.
So, Len, talk us through the videos. Why are we covering the second one? I did
The
watch
second
them.
one, because this flirt hasn't got a clue what the equator has to do with a flat Earth.
I see. So, because they're posing a question about a heliocentric concept that in and of itself is a minimum elevation angle, you're saying when they suggest that the equator's got nothing to do with the flat Earth, they don't appreciate how the equator's derived from flat Earth measurements. Is that the point that you're making?
The flat earther just hasn't got a clue about anything. He is ridiculous. He recently went somewhere with Sharon. Sorry?
What do you mean the flat earther? I thought it was a group of globeheads.
Yeah, it's one flat earther. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. It's the first time I've seen the guy, but he's on there with Toons, Uruguay guy, MC Spin, and bloody PhD Tony, and he's just talking flat earther. That's just flat earth in name only, no knowledge.
I am totally confused now. Like I say, I did watch it when you posted it yesterday. Okay, well, when we're watching it, you'll have to maybe unpack it a bit more for me, because maybe I've misunderstood. I just thought it was a group of mates chit-chatting. Chit-chatting and then talking about elevations. At the end of the clip, from memory, like I say, I think I watched it just before I went to bed. One of them's talking about an elevation angle or a degree of something or other. Is the sun's setting at something? I can't remember exactly what the example was, but there was a specific example that required a planar reference for a degree measurement with respect to surface level. It might have been right at the end of the clip, or it might have just been that I didn't watch all of it. It's a bit hazy. It's very hot here.
I think you can pick it apart. But the guy later on, I think it was in the other video that I shared with you, where he's saying he's heard you before, but he doesn't like your language or whatever. But because of, well, is it because of that he's so retarded on the subject?
Yeah, fine. As long as hopefully you're around when we go live and you can unpack the bits that I'm not obviously understanding. Because, yeah, I just thought, like I say, it was just a group of mates just sitting around chit-chatting. The fact that you're now saying that one of them's a flirt, they're in contention with them, but yet there didn't seem to be any contention in what they were discussing. But maybe, like I say, maybe I've missed the point. But I'm happy to cover it.
Yeah, when Neil and Surf Daddy were having their massive bloody Christian conversation at the end of yesterday's show, I zoned out a little bit and went in and listened to some McLovin. And he's hilarious for how retarded he is and how much he constantly misrepresents the comedy writes
Well, give us a little example. What do you do?
There's too many examples to note, Neil. And, oh Christ, it was like a 3-hour video or something. I did occasionally take screenshots so I could get the time code and pass on the clips.
Yeah, we've got a video to cover, Neil. So we'll cover it in 15, 20 minutes, however long.
I see new people here that I haven't seen. Hassan Ajin, Hassan Oja, Stole. How you guys doing? 8 King, you ain't been around in a while.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I just been waiting for the book because I just cannot learn anything new anymore, and I just want to learn to wait for the book.
Anytime
Are
now.
you all assuming that Earth is flat?
Say again.
What?
Are you all assuming that Earth is flat?
No.
Hello guys, how are
What?
you? I think no, you know, I don't believe in anything like, but I think that is it.
I barely made out what you're saying, but
Muslim.
sounds good.
I'm Muslim. I'm Muslim, and our book is also says flat is Earth. Earth is flat.
Your book, the
Right.
Quran, is flat Earth. You said.
Yeah.
Since then you are have bring your information from your religion only.
No, that's how it's measured. Earth's measured flat.
No. Yeah,
Yeah.
just like that's why I don't firm believe in it, but that's why I say I think, just because now the new research, new reels, new ideas like Anunnakis and the reptilian, they show me my algorithm is so like Earth is flat, Earth is flat, Earth is flat. So
That's just how it's measured.
yeah,
It's got nothing to do with religion, nothing to do with Anunnaki. That's all nonsense. Meanwhile, the measurements of Earth are flat. All of them.
What? Who said that?
The people who measure it.
Come on, man. When did you measure the flat?
Did I
There
say
is.
I haven't? I haven't measured anything. Have I been kicked out of the room? I think I might have been kicked out of the room.
I think we got kicked out, Nathan.
For what?
I don't know because I got kicked out. Len, did you?
I
Did
don't know
you?
what to
Who
say.
was in there? Well, let me see, because I'm going to try to go back. Because I was talking to the guy. He asked what happened to you, and I was explaining to him who you are and that you want to show him, or about to explain to him how it's measured flat, and I was gone.
Isn't that interesting?
So I wonder who did it.
I don't know. I can't even see the room anymore. I'm looking through the English Hub and I can't even find the room. What was the room called? 24/7 Discord? Or 24/7 Flat Earth? Okay. Yeah, I can't even find the room no more.
They're obviously terrified.
Yeah, I can't even see the room anymore, Neil. Thank you, hon. I blame you, Neil. You told me to go there. What did we do? Neil. Neil.
It was right under 24/7 politics and religion. Now it's gone.
So the room's just vanished.
Yeah, the room is totally gone.
Yeah, weird, isn't it? So the room's gone. Should I try and go into a different room, see if that works?
Well, we can go into a different room and ask somebody what happened because they're more familiar with this freaking thing.
Okay,
Well,
well,
it's
I've got in room 5.1 in the same
What's
place.
that?
English Hub, room 5.1. It's called Large Rooms 5.1.
Okay, I see where you are.
Yeah, I'm glad you were there with me, Neil. Otherwise, I'd have been like, have I done something wrong? Have I pressed the mouse button I shouldn't have pressed accidentally? Who knows?
Well, let's see what happens now.
Okay. If it happens again, I'll just go to Flipside or Worldwide Debates. That's so weird. So I was ejected and then you were ejected, right?
Yes. Now I don't know if everybody got ejected. Let me ask the Viking because I'll message him and see what happened because he was in there too.
Okay. Or we'll just go somewhere else if it's the same. Hello. Hello, Alex. Hello. I can't pronounce that.
Hey guys,
Hello.
what's up?
Sky.
Hey, how are you?
Hello.
I'm Mamun from
Mamoon.
Bangladesh.
Lovely.
Yes, Mamun. Where are you from?
Where am I from?
I am Mamun. Where are you from?
It's like being in AOL chat room 1990s style. ASL. I am male. I am from the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland.
United Kingdom, a bad country.
What country?
Bad country.
Bad country?
Bad country.
If you say so. I think it's great here.
What?
Why? Mamun, why?
Bad, because what? If I could say in my mother tongue, I will able to understand you. How United Kingdom, US, United Kingdom, all of the country of Western, they are very bad.
Yeah, I heard you the first time.
Where are you
Because
from?
Don't care. You condemned an entire country. There's about 50 million people here.
they always what if they steal others resource and
Oh, you know that for a fact?
what?
You know that for a fact? How do you know they steal everybody's resources?
Yeah, he's probably right.
Not that they freaking bring civilization to a freaking jungle, right?
Yeah, so they can steal all his resources.
Doesn't
Right.
matter. They give them a life. You have been Englishized.
He's buggered off, Neil. Don't blame him. Good. Did we find out what happened to that room?
No, I didn't find out. So now you know how I feel when Jin condemns America.
I don't know if I do. I don't care. I'm not my country.
Well, by saying that English is bad, you're saying everybody in England's bad. Same thing when Jin says America's the worst. You're saying everybody in America is the worst.
Yeah, it's a sad little stereotype where you assume that 50 million people are the country that they're in. Everybody's different. That's just nonsense. Stereotyping 50 million people because they live in one particular location on an island. That just doesn't mean anything to me, Neil, so I'm not going to take offence at that. Just laughable. You know, when people buy into these sad stereotypes, you're like, okay, in my humble opinion, the way the world is laid out is divide and rule. Set one group against another group. You know, set the blacks against the whites, the Muslims against the Christians, the men against the women. That's the divide and rule. Keep people busy fighting with some random group that opposes them, but in reality, there's no benefit to anybody fighting about any of the things that are laid down to be contentious by a third party. We know that in our own group, because we can see the dividing lines that have been artificially engineered with the subject that we cover. So when we talk about flat Earth, we can see how the reality of the situation is kept separate from the organised, orchestrated so-called debate between people who say it's a globe and people who say it isn't. Like there's a divide line between those two groups. They've got their talking points already laid out for them, how they'll argue, and what's the end result? A lot of people wasting a lot of time. Lots of opportunity for stereotypes. Well, he's a globe head.
Sorry, I just sent a message to Flipside that we're in 5.1 because there was people from our server in there.
There's no point. If I thought we were coming in here because it had a flat Earth room, which it did, but now we don't seem to be in it. So we're gonna have randos come in. They're like, "Who are you? English guy." Well, I'm now gonna stereotype 52 or however million people. You're like, this is garbage. If there's no there's no label for what the room is, then what's the point in being in here with just a couple of people in a random room for no good reason, for randos to join? You know what I mean?
So where do you want to go?
Well, I don't know what to do now. I sincerely don't know. We could stay in here, and then we get randos that come in, like just it'd be like sitting at a bus stop. You know what I mean? People might see that the room fills up and go, "Oh, I might go in there." But it's not like when we were in the flat Earth room, people go, "Do you think so? You guys think the Earth's flat?" And we can go, "No, we know it's flat. That's how it's measured." We got that far into the discussion, and then we got removed. But if we just have the room filling up with people who would have been in the flip side, wouldn't we just be better off in the flip side? I mean, I don't care where we are, frankly, but it just being in a random, unnamed room called 5.1 just seems like, I mean, now we're here, I suppose we might as well stay here. What difference does it make? But why promote the English hub if it seems like we've been removed from a room that seemingly now doesn't exist? What the fuck?
We can't have you talking about measurements there.
Well, I just bizarre. I'm literally speechless. I don't know how to react to what's just happened. Part of me says, why hang around here? If we have been removed from a particular room that was labelled category specific that I'm a subject matter expert in, you kind of have to say to yourself, what's going on?
All right, Nathan, you need to leave that room. There's only 5 maxes allowed. So let's get out of here. Let's go to worldwide debate.
There's only what?
I just got a message from Zark in the English hub. 5 max room limit. So you're only going to allow 5 people in? That's what 5.1 means, I guess.
What?
5 people is the limit in the room.
Oh, ask him what the deal was with the room that was labelled. Oh, should I even care? I don't know. I'm like I say, I'm lost for words, Neil.
Just go to freaking worldwide debate or our own server, which is Flipside.
Worldwide debates. What room should I go in? They'll just move me into a different room, so I should just start in a different room. Colosseum. Okay. Is there a room that's further up the list? Just because I don't like where it is in terms of where I scroll to. No, there isn't any. I can worry about that later, maybe. I can't see it on my list. That annoys me. Okay, I'll go in the flip side.
Okay. You bad country.
It's slightly bizarre. So there was nobody in the Flipside Discord server when I started the pre-show today. So I'm like, oh, I wonder where else we can go. So I started clicking around, seeing which servers to go into, and Neil suggested we went into politics. So I went into politics server, or whatever they call it, 24/7 politics, something like that. And there was no flat earth section in there. So I said to Neil, there's no specific flat earth section in here. And I don't want to go in and suddenly start terrorising the vegans. That's not reasonable, right? I want to go into a room, if there is one, that's labelled specifically with our category title on it. That is to say, something to do with flat earth. If we're going to go in there, that seems reasonable if it's a flat earth room, right? So given that there wasn't one in the labelled politics server, Neil says, well, try the English hub, which I'd never been in before. So we go in, and lo and behold, there's a room called 24/7 Flat Earth Discord, or something like that. It's got Flat Earth in the title, the room, in this Discord server. So we go in, and I don't know, we're in there 5 minutes, and somebody's asking us about whether or not we believe in Earth being flat. And a guy in there says, well, it's flat in the Quran, that's how I discern my belief, and there might be an Ethereum. So my response is, well, Ethereum aside, Earth's measured flat. Then we get removed. First me, then Neil, get removed from the server. I'm like, what's going on? So I then spend 5-10 minutes tops rolling through that server looking for the room that we're in, and it's vanished. So then we go, okay, well, let's go into one of the random rooms, because it might be that we've just been banned. And we haven't. We just go into a random room called 5.1 and sit in there. And then we get a note from the server, this room has a maximum capacity of 5 people. So we're like, okay, what's going on? Where's the room that we were in? Why has it vanished when there was about 6 or 7 people chatting in there? So, yeah, so then we moved to worldwide debates, but the Colosseum section that they always like moving me in to have control over that particular area didn't line up with my Discord chat stream on the live view. So I couldn't get it to line up, so I'm like, oh, sod this, we'll just go back to Flipside. So now here we are in Flipside Discord server, as we would normally be. This is the one we are currently regularly using most often. So one of those, I was intending to go somewhere else today, but alas, this is where we are. We do have a video to cover though, courtesy of Len. So I might just get straight into it. I did actually watch this yesterday, although it was just before I went to sleep. So I wasn't necessarily fully compos mentis when I was watching it. So
There's some
good.
there's some people who obviously know Earth is flat, and obviously they do not like people to share these facts.
I mean, I have no explanation for it. It could just be a random anomaly, which often happens in Discord. And I'm not going to start, coming up with conspiratorial explanations beyond my station. I just know what happened. 1 minute we're in a room that's labelled with my subject matter expertise as the title. The next minute we're not in there. We're suddenly in silence. And you're like, okay, maybe somebody doesn't like me in that particular server. Who knows? Who cares? Anyway, Len, you there?
Yep.
Talk us through this video. It's titled by you. Why is there an equator on a flat Earth?
Well, there's some Christian flat or supposed flat earther on Toons channel who's just been somewhere with Jaren, and one of Toons' viewers sends a question regarding the equator, and this guy just has no answer whatsoever. It just shows how deluded he is. It's just a short 2.5 minute video, but yeah, it's like McToon's picking the low hanging fruit.
Okay, I mean, I watched this and it wasn't immediately obvious that there was a flirt amongst these dudes, but fair enough. Like I say, I'm glad you've explained it in the live show because it didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Nevertheless, we will respond and we'll play it and we'll see how we get on.
Or sorry, my mom bakes cakes first. Says, why is there an equator on a flat Earth?
Very good, very good. I don't think that the equator has. I don't think that flat Earth would say that the equator would have anything to do with the flat Earth. But
okay, so presumably this guy's the guy that you're saying is a flat earther. He's immediately guilty of anthropomorphization. what anthropomorphization is? So
I do, but explain it.
anthropomorphization is attributing human attributes to things that are not human or not living. So in this instance, the words that came out of the guy's mouth were, I don't think that flat Earth would. So he's now ascribing what seems on surface level to be a stereotyping fallacy, but he's making flat Earth an entity that has an opinion. That's anthropomorphization.
There's things that I'm noticing. Like I was in Thailand, which is only 10 degrees
10 degrees.
above the equator. And
yeah, that's a measurement from a flat plane that creates a latitude system. That latitude system is the essence of the glorified protractor that the guys that are sat around you think is the globe. The equatorial minimums are just minimums of the angle acquisition from a flat plane. So it's kind of a malformed question. How can you have an equator on a flat Earth? Well, the equator is a flat Earth derived value. It doesn't exist in physical terminology. If you get to a certain point where you can just see Polaris and then you can't, then that doesn't mean that there's a circle drawn around the points that would give you the same star on the same horizon as you moved around in a circle around it. But there isn't a line on the ground called the equator. It's a convention that is explicitly derived from flat Earth prerequisite elevation angle measurements to the star we call Polaris. That's what it is. Now, when you say, what's that got to do with a flat Earth? It's a flat Earth derived value, as in you've got to measure a flat Earth to get to it. Go ahead, whoever that was.
Also, he said above the equator. It's north of the equator.
Oh dear.
Fallacy of wrong direction.
Right. So if you move north, the star will increase in terms of its altitude angle measurement in a degree formula that implicitly requires Earth be measured flat to give it in a degree. But that's as you move in an azimuthal direction northward, as opposed to up and down. So to suggest that you're moving up, no, that's the wrong direction fallacy. North is not up.
And I did see the sun set straight, and I saw the moon as well. The moon looked way different than it does in California, and I saw it set straight. So another thing that I've heard that I haven't confirmed is I've heard that the moon sets left to right in the north, and it also sets right to left in the south.
Yeah.
I'd have to ask Max that because he lives in the south.
Why does my view look so crap? Something's gone wrong with my view. Why are we laughing while I adjust the view?
The moon sets left to right? What does that even mean?
I don't know.
It means
what
he
he's
turned
talking about.
around.
Yeah,
He turned around. He just turned around. That's all he did. It set from the east to the west when he's looking north, and then he looked south, and it's set from the west, from his left to his right. That's all he did was turn around.
I have to come back to this. I thought yesterday I masked out all of the stuff that's in this view, but it doesn't seem to have worked very well. Should I fiddle around with it to try and get it better, or shall I just carry on? I think I might just carry on. I'm trying to figure out a way of getting me so I'm lined up with the stuff so I can cut it into a shorts video easier. So I've fiddled with it for editing purposes, and now it looks much, much worse. Well, we'll deal with it another time when we're not live.
That's another thing that I think that would be good to get as well. Max, you could probably get that where you're located if you have, if you could get it setting right to left, the moon as well, so that we could see what's going on with that. It's just, all it is just a bunch of people getting together, just gathering information about terrestrial, about the sun, about the moon, and about the stars. I will also film the stars when I'm in Punta Arenas. I'll do the best that I can to.
Is this still the same answer to the question about equators and flat Earths? Is this the same answer from the same guy? Am I missing something?
Yeah, same thing.
I don't know how much time I'm going to have or how much clear skies I'm going to have, but Max, you could also probably do that too, where you're living too, right?
Yes. Remember that Isis Pin told you about that stream we tried on March 20th?
Oh, I think I figured out why.
Oh, that's Uruguay guy.
And I think I figured out why this looks rubbish. See if I can make it a bit better. There we go. Needs to be a lot bigger. Sorry, keep talking while I.
Wait a second. That's the Iroquois guy with his little freaking supposed demonstration of the sun.
What about it? There we go. That looks much better.
Got an example of the sun increasing in elevation angle and lowering in elevation angle. And he says that's proof that it's a sphere.
That's correct.
That's properly stupid, eh?
We're probably going to try it again in September.
Okay.
And we will get the live.
Is this the guy? This is the guy that was talking to us, bottom left.
Yeah,
Hey, neckbeard.
guy.
Hey, you basically meet all of the stereotypes I describe when I describe the bottom of the barrel social dweeb neckbeard. That's you in it, Uruguay guy. I've never seen him before. Oh my god.
Stream of the sun going opposite ways at the same time.
Yeah.
But I can definitely try
Opposite
to get
way
the
at
moon.
the same time.
You say over? Did I hear him correctly? Did he say over? That's another flat earth prerequisite. Oh, shit, I won't bother rewinding it. I'll see if I can find my dib dab while I play the next section.
The thing is that the moon here is upside down.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah. So also, Mike, I want to ask you, because you know the glow model probably like better than all of us. So with the sun rising in the southeast, setting in the southwest, is that
rising in the what? Is he describing? Go ahead. Go ahead, Len.
I just wait for this. It's hilarious.
Didn't hear what you said.
All right, we got.
Go ahead.
He said, wait for this. It's hilarious. That means play.
Well, no.
Oh, no, hold on.
No, yeah, hey, go ahead, John.
I was going to say you get the azimuthal directions that are based on horizontal, the north, south, east, and west, or we'll get a globe proof from it.
Yeah, you can't. It's talking about azimuthal directionality, degrees from north that are ascribed to these conventions with respect to the azimuthal degrees from north that we ascribe south, east, and west. Now, there is only one true direction. I was talking about this actually on Roger Ledwell's show today. So Roger Ledwell had a live show, happened to be running while I was here, and for whatever reason the trampolining was cancelled today. Apparently they had a show on or something, so I didn't end up going. So I'm like, wow, this is an unexpected turn up. I've got an hour and a half to myself where I don't have to ferry one of my children to a class. Wonderful. So I sat and watched Roger Ledwell, and he's talking about the same thing. So I think in his particular example, they were talking about circumnavigation and the suggestion that the equator is a straight line. Well, the concept, the convention, is derived from flat Earth prerequisite elevation angles from surface level. So you can install it onto the equatorial plane with the degrees of azimuth from north. So you can find your way on a map. This convention's derivable from a single point of absolute direction called north. Everything else is a derivative value from that convention. So if you've got a compass, it never points east. It's not pointing south. South is 180 degrees from north. That's the system. Azimuth, it's called. So when we describe these things like keeping a needle of a compass pointing north as you move at 90 degrees with respect to that compass, well, what would happen is the compass itself would reorientate itself towards north as you travelled. Well, it doesn't mean that the convention of south, east, or west changes. It's still a degree from north, but you have to orientate yourself with respect to north first. So east and west aren't directions, strictly speaking. They're degrees from north when you locate north on a compass. That's how the system works. So the degrees from north, the azimuthal system, must hold true in the horizontal for you to orientate yourself with directionality. That's the system we have been burdened with when we find our way around with a map and a compass. That's just how it is. Now, what we're describing is fundamentally required to be flat, because that's what it is. It's degrees in the horizontal. There's no, oh, well, what if the needle moves? It doesn't matter. We're talking about degrees from north. That's what azimuth is.
Did you say hello to LVA Paul while you were there? Unfucking real.
They talked about LVA Paul, actually. They were saying that he was out on the promo tour and they hadn't seen him since. That was kind of all they had to say about it. So, I mean, I don't bear any ill will. He actually sent me a super chat a couple of days ago, Roger Ledwell. Thank you very much for the super chat, Roger, via PayPal.
Of course he did. Trying to get on your good graces. So take his money. He's a fucking idiot, Roger Ledwell.
No need.
Is that also going in? Is that also making it go the opposite direction as the north as well?
Yeah.
Does that prove that?
Opposite direction at the what? North. So this is a flurf. I would have interpreted this very differently had I have known that one of the dudes on the panel wasn't just one of their own. He seems like one of their own. Very weak, conciliatory dude. But there we go. Such is life. I didn't even read into it what he actually was and what he was doing there, frankly. So who am I to moan? I didn't even recognise his position in this discussion. But ultimately speaking, he's doing what everyone does, which is whistling past the flat earth prerequisites to describe his interpretation of a question that's geared towards a globe faith, because it's a globe convention. He still hasn't answered it, by the way. He's being asked about the equator on a flat earth. This is a load of cockwaffle as far as I'm concerned. But it's utilised about 3 different flat earth prerequisites that have gone without saying. That's a shame, isn't it, really?
That too?
It moves right to left instead of left to right. So when you're at very far north, and as you get to the Arctic Circle, when
you what? Very far north, as in you've travelled horizontally with respect to the 0 degree azimuthal orientation we call north. It's a flat earth prerequisite. You need to measure earth flat in horizontal orientation to describe north. North's flat.
When you can see the sun the whole time, the sun goes left to right, and south of the Antarctic Circle, it goes right to left. So it's the opposite direction.
Okay, so I'd have to ask this. So does that mean that it's still going east to west?
Yes.
It's
on both.
The east to west orientated with respect to north, horizontally in azimuth also. You're talking about horizontal directionality. These are flat earth prerequisites. So the guy who's speaking,
Also,
why not just say that? You need a flat earth for this. It's the end of the discussion. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, left and right also are on the plane of reference. They're not a curve. Left is not a curve and right is not a curve. They're fixed with respect to your horizontal. What is your left? But they're still planar directions.
I see what you're saying. You're saying regardless of their relativity to your orientation, that is to say, left if I'm facing this way is definitely different if I'm facing the opposite direction. But both of them are descriptions in the horizontal. To be left or right, regardless of which way round I'm facing, you're still describing a differential in the horizontality to describe left and right also. Yeah, you're right.
Both places.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it means it's still going east to west. Okay, because that's something I heard somebody say, like, oh...
So why don't you end the discussion? You now into both sides utilising flat earth prerequisites with nobody mentioning them. It's almost like what I've been describing for about the last 6 months. In the red corner, we have the flurfs. In the blue corner, we've got the anti-flurfs. One says we've got a global system using flat earth orientations and directionality that proves a globe, and one says we've got flat earth directionality in azimuth that disproves the globe. Over here somewhere, we've got geography where they just use azimuth horizontally. It's completely separate from the discussion. The discussion's completely moot if one of them was to say, what does east mean? Let's just describe the horizontality this directionality affords us in all circumstances and without exception. East's flat. Yeah, Neil.
Wait a second. You left out a section. What section and what corner did you say?
In the red corner and in the blue corner.
And you also have
The
job corner. And there sits Roger Ledwell.
Oh, God. Why are you bashing Roger Ledwell?
Because he attacked me. See, you're naive to anything that's going on.
Yes, I am.
I'll send you some clips of what the asshole said about me.
Okay. Feel free.
Well, fuck him. Told him, come here and tell me what your problem is. You won't, so... Anyway, I won't ruin your show. Go ahead.
On the other hand, he did give me money, Neil. So I am pretty fickle when it comes to people giving me money.
Oh, yeah,
I'll be
yeah.
honest.
Just take his money. Yeah, I agree. Take it.
Yeah, I will. I need to pay the bills. These lights don't pay for themselves.
The sun still travels east to west, so there's no way that it goes the opposite.
Yeah, so it's flat Earth directionality. Flat Earth orientation. That's the end of the discussion. Why are we having this conversation?
Direction. But it does, though, right? It would still go a different direction.
Yeah, so everyone agrees. Flat Earth only directionality and orientations. Yeah, that's right. Everyone agrees in this so-called debate. What, you all need this to be horizontal orientation in degrees? Yeah. We all use the same azimuthal directionality system. There is no exception to it. Compasses haven't suddenly changed how they function. So why are we having this argument? There isn't one. Now, we've been saying it for months, but it's nice to actually see it pad out when we've got our, so-called opponents. They're not. None of these people are our opponents. They agree with me. They just did. You just heard it. Yes. Okay. East to west, west to east, north and south. Yeah, these are flat Earth orientations and directions. End of story. There is nothing to discuss here. Earth is unequivocally measured flat by everyone in all circumstances. Here's an example of it. This will never change. The only reason we've got pot-smoking, open-toe sandal-wearing hippies braced against neckbeards on the panel here is so that there can be a perception of a debate. There isn't one. They're in agreement, aren't they? Now, when I say in agreement, it's very different to what's actually occurring. Both parties are whistling past the flat Earth prerequisites they both need, because that's how it's engineered to be. If both parties can use the flat Earth directions, elevations, elevation angles, surface level, sea level, eye level, flight level, azimuth, directionality, if they can use all of these things without a single soul mentioning how flat is the Earth for all of these, oh, completely flat. Yeah, they're all horizontal, yes. So we can only carry on this discussion if everybody accepts every one of those 9 flat Earth prerequisites that I just listed. Yes, correct. Well, what do you have to say about it? Well, in my mind, as a globe-believing idiot, level, that means no part higher or lower than another, bends. Oh, I see. So to square this circle of you guys needing flat Earth prerequisites and axioms that cannot bend, you say they bend. Yeah, basically. At which point, I, as an individual, as a person, I go, mentally, I have to duck out at this point. If you need a contradiction in terms to affirm your belief when using flat Earth prerequisites that are only capable of description in the horizontal, and you say horizontal bends, not appreciating that for it to be bent, you'd have to describe a deviation from the horizontal, meaning that horizontality will axiomatically hold true even for your violation of it, means that I just don't want to engage with these people. They're delusional. Now, I don't know how many years it's going to take for me to say, hold on, you're using flat Earth measurements over here on the globe side, and you're using flat Earth measurements over here on the anti-globe side. At what point do you group of dickheads understand how flat Earth is being measured for both of you to ignore it? When does that occur? Year? 2 years? I mean, these are inconsequential questions I'm asking. Will it make any difference if either of these two sides of this so-called debate recognise how flat azimuth is? No, azimuth will still be horizontal directionality. It doesn't matter if they get it or not. And that's the point, isn't it? Because they don't have any consequence. Nobody on any of these panels has any consequence to the actual geography of Earth and its flatness. None of them will change how flat it's always been measured, will be measured today, and will continue to be measured tomorrow. Horizontality, in the case of azimuth, as they are directly discussing that right now, will not change. If both of them suddenly turn around and go, oh my God, how silly am I? Oh, we were all measuring Earth flat then. Yeah. What will change? Absolutely nothing. So it's inconsequential. It's just fart sniffers arguing amongst themselves. Fart sniffer versus neckbeards. That's what we've got.
Yeah, but it's not just east to west, right?
It's not just the flat Earth orientation, directionality, and azimuth. Okay, what else we got other than the flat Earth directions that we've measured?
It's east to west, and it's moving right to left versus left to right.
Oh, so it's another different flat Earth only convention in the horizontal as well. I see. So just 2 flat Earth proofs and prerequisites then. Is that all, Toon? This is a pointless discussion, isn't it? Go ahead, whoever that was.
He's a freaking moron. He just uses flat earth directionality like it's okay.
It's old school. People haven't noticed. We are, as far as I'm concerned, on the tip of the spear now. So I said this yesterday, and everyone was like, I don't know. I think we're the only ones who have done this. We are special and unique. Num, 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 num. My suggestion is that if we've come up with this, or recognised it, that there's a separation between flurf and anti-flurf versus, separately, geography. In this case, azimuthal, horizontal, that's flat, directionality. It can't bend. It's horizontal. It's north, south, east and west degrees from north. They're horizontal. There's no disputing it. It's the end of the discussion. But what are we doing? We're going to argue amongst ourselves like there's some consequence to this? Well, if we are recognising it in 2026, I would suggest that in 1976, 1906, however long ago, somebody somewhere will have recognised this also. And gone, hang on. We're having a discussion about stuff that all hinges on us having flat earth prerequisites as measurements. Why are we having the discussion? There's nothing to argue about. Now, maybe we're the only ones currently vocalising this, and maybe there's people who are actually in the debate that go, holy crap, you're right. I'm asking him about how a flat earth measurement works on a globe, and he's responding with, this flat earth measurement works on a globe thusly. It's silly. It really is. Right, carry on.
And so it can do both. It can go east to west, and
it can go in a flat earth direction and
go clockwise or counterclockwise.
Okay.
Okay. So and that's a deception that I see flat earthers talk about. Nathan
Thompson. We're going to get me. I'm going to get a mention here.
Thompson loves to deceive people with that tactic.
What am I deceiving people with?
Also, just to point out, clockwise and counterclockwise, just like left and right, are planar descriptions. They travel upon a fixed plane with respect to an axis. It's still on a plane.
It was Nathan Thompson as well, Nick.
I say might not necessarily be me.
It doesn't get out of the problem that it is counterclockwise and clockwise. So yeah. All right.
You might have heard of. Okay, that's pretty much it.
Did he call it a problem?
Yeah, how do they consider that a problem? It just means whether you're looking north or looking south.
Just the little problem of whether or not we're looking in a flat earth direction 0 or a flat earth direction at 180.
Right. But I mean, even counterclockwise and clockwise, when you think about a clock or a sundial, as the light moves around, it's going counterclockwise, clockwise. It's still planar. It has a planar reference for it to be that.
Mention sundials, mate.
But yeah, Nathan, do you feel like that fluff answered the question at all?
Not really. I mean, the question he was asked was about how you have an equator on a flat earth. That was the general gist of the question. Unless I'm misinterpreting the question. Would you say I've summarised the question correctly? Let's just hear it again. Let's just summarise what was actually asked. Even now, I still don't think I've got it right.
Earth. There's just things that I'm noticing that are very hard to explain on a flat earth. I would like to see people's explanations, of this.
All right.
Right. Okay, we started off with, I want to know things that are hard to explain on a flat earth. You're describing flat earth directionality and asking how it works on a flat earth. Again, because everybody in the subject arena whistles past the actual use of the terminologies they're using, directionality in this instance, as long as you ignore how flat the things you're asking about are, you can ask how they work flat. It just seems really silly when I break it down like this. Does anybody disagree that it is absolutely ludicrous?
It is retarded. It is very similar to someone holding up a dictionary, waving it in your face and saying words don't exist, and then demanding that you prove that they do.
As you're using words.
Yes.
A bunch of questions have come in now. So the grumpy old mechanic, or sorry, my mom bakes cakes first, says, why is there an equator on a flat Earth?
Yeah, so you didn't answer the question. Why is there an equator on? Why? Because you measured the minimum elevation angle of Polaris. That's the answer. Why is there an equator on a flat Earth? Because you measured the minimum elevation angle of Polaris and formed a convention called a circle of equal altitude or area of equal altitude. That's it. So because we derive a convention with flat Earth minimum elevation angles, well, there's nothing to explain here. There's no question to be answered. You know, it's like saying, go ahead.
He's trying to put it in like the idea that equator makes sense on a globe.
That's correct.
That's the implication of what they're trying to say, because they don't understand what the equator is. They don't have a clue how you measure it, how it was created. They ain't got any of that.
Right.
They just believe it's on a sphere.
Sorry. They're going from the equator is an imaginary circle of latitude around the middle of a planet located at 0 latitude. So it makes sense on a globe, but it don't make no sense on a flat Earth, Nathan.
But it is a flat Earth prerequisite measurement. It's like saying this dog don't make any sense in this kennel full of dogs because dogs don't exist. Right? It's a flat Earth measurement of a minimum. When you say 0, what you're actually discussing is the 0 baseline minimum elevation angle to Polaris. That's what it is. So it's not, how does this work? If it exists, Earth is flat. Now, as a convention, you can suggest that if you take the elevation angles that you draw with circles of equal altitude as you move towards Polaris, you'd have an equator. Yeah, that's the minimum elevation angle of Polaris. If Polaris is the center point, when you reach the outside edge of that circle, at any point on that circle, we have conventionally named the equator. The angle to Polaris would be at its minimum. It's on the horizon when you measure it. Yeah? Now, the system is such that as you move from this outside edge on any point of that circle, 60 nautical miles, the star that you're measuring, Polaris, will raise 1 degree with respect to the horizon. So again, a flat Earth measurement of an angle with a degree with respect to a flat baseline will increase by 1 degree if you move towards the star. That creates a new circle of equal altitude that's smaller. So as you move towards Polaris, its angle raises. For every step you go in 60 nautical miles, the circle of all angles to that star decrease in size as you move towards it, and the angle of the star increases until you are at the GP, ground position, aka zenith position for you and your description. What's zenith? Directly 90 degrees above you with respect to a plane. That's what zenith means. If you, in this system, were at the star's zenith, it would be at your head. So now I'll reverse explain it. The same exact concept. You start at Polaris with it at your zenith. So you are here. There is no circle to draw because you're at its zenith. But if you move away from it 60 nautical miles, you draw a very small circle because the star has now dropped towards the horizon by 1 degree. And as you back away from Polaris, every 60 nautical miles, the degree that star will be measured with respect to a flat baseline, utilizing the horizon, will decrease 1 degree for every 60 nautical miles, meaning that the circles as you back away from Polaris get bigger and bigger and bigger until you get to that star's minimum. That's the equator. Now, when you travel...
I just figured out.
Go ahead.
I just figured out, I'm sorry, it kind of struck me like lightning. When you ask someone to explain this, right, you're automatically taking them into a category of science, because science deals with explanations, right? You're explaining phenomena.
Gotcha.
So when you ask how this works or why is there this, dealing with a what is statement, you're immediately getting drawn into a category error.
Wow, that's a good point.
Yeah. So we're trained to ask a cause and effect style question in relation to a what is definition. What is latitude? The angle measured with respect to a plane of Polaris, decreasing areas of equal elevation as you move towards this star's zenith position, or increasing circles of equal altitude as you move away from it and its angle with respect to the horizon decreases. That's the answer to the question, what is latitude? And incorporated into the same system, the maximum elevation angle, or minimum elevation angle, I should say, of Polaris, the equator. Now, if you can turn that into how do you have an equator on a flat Earth, it almost sounds like it's a phenomena that you need to explain. And in reality, it's just a flat Earth measurement of a light in the sky. And it's decreasing flat Earth, flat baseline, part of the angle that you're measuring along the surface with respect to the horizon. Angle, that's a number with a degree symbol after it, for this system. Now, if you take what I've just explained, so you, Polaris here at the center point, with you measuring its minimum on the biggest circle, you can understand that as you move north, that's a flat Earth only direction, horizontal in orientation, with a degree at 0 when you point a compass. You can move north, that's horizontally, decreasing the size of these circles as the star raises in altitude, yeah? Well, then you can understand that once you've got that system with these ever decreasing circles, that was the name of a comedy here in the UK back in the 70s. Ever decreasing circles. Anyway, the system can then be concertinaed down to form what I call the glorified protractor you know as the globe. Now, you're not standing inside a globe for that convention of zenith being the pole from the equatorial plane inside a globe with the same exact degrees matching with the measurement that you have on your protractor sextant as you measure the angles with respect to the Polaris. You can describe that as a system with degrees written on the curve of a protractor, otherwise known as the globe. That's what the globe is. It's a glorified protractor with the vertical lines forming latitude and the horizontal lines forming longitude, which describes the azimuthal positional system we use for time. And that's what it's used for in this system also, coordinates in this case. That's what it's doing. That's how it's used. It's all derived from flat planar, surface level measurements, altitude, angles, and azimuth. The system, when described for positional information inside a globe, inside the celestial sphere, utilizes azimuth and altitude. In other words, you with a glorified protractor and a glorified compass wrapped around your position in the heart of that that protractor, we call the globe when we stand inside it. Now, so long as nobody mentions how flat all of these systems are foundationally built upon, then you can have these two groups argue about how a flat Earth directionality in a subject category error is suggested to work or not work on a ball, when in reality both are flat Earth by prerequisite, like in the diagrammatical examples I have going by all the time when we are doing these shows. Why have I got these continually up? Why wouldn't I update them? Well, because that is the be-all and end-all of how we measure Earth. Notice there are things like vernal equinox and North Pole noted on this diagrammatical example, with you inside a ball. You're not inside a ball. The globe Earth is nothing more than a glorified protractor. That's all it is. Nobody highlights it, nobody mentions it, everybody uses it by prerequisite and then immediately whistles past it to ask how these flat Earth prerequisites and measurements work on a freaking globe or work on a freaking flat Earth. They only work on a flat Earth. They are flat Earth, and I say this almost 20 times a show, by prerequisite. They are functionally horizontal.
So whenever anybody asks us, how's this work on a flat Earth, we can immediately say you're in a category error, can we not?
Yeah, because you're asking a what is question rather than a cause and effect question. How does this work? What do you mean, how does this work? It's not doing any work. You're just measuring. You can say, how does celestial navigation work? And then the descriptions in prerequisite of measurements kick in because you describe how you utilize the flat Earth measurements. Like the discussion that we just witnessed, utilized azimuthal directionality. But nobody's asking, how does azimuthal directionality work on a globe? Nobody's asking that. Well, it doesn't.
Right.
Again, a what is question that's horizontal in orientation is a category error. If you start asking how that works on a globe, well, it doesn't work on a globe. It's horizontal. In a globe, at best, if you want to describe coincidental systems like longitude, latitude, and in this case, azimuth, then you can describe the glorified protractor of the globe wrapped around you while you orientate yourself with words like west, east, north, and south. Those are flat, they're planar, they're horizontal directionalities. Now, this is axiomatically factual for everybody who ever navigates Earth ever. It will never change, and no matter somebody saying, this person's dishonest, this person's devious, this person's lying, won't change how horizontal azimuth is. It's a degree in the horizontal for directions. Everything described in that last discussion that we just witnessed were flat Earth measurement based. The discussion relied upon that fact. Axiomatically, they're utilizing it flat. So, like I keep saying, and I will just keep highlighting it with examples, where people argue about whether or not Earth's a ball, ignoring the flat Earth prerequisites they're all reliant upon to have the discussion in the first place.
Well, you had the one guy at Worldwide Debate, as I listened to the show yesterday. He was just fixated on, well, it's a celestial sphere, so it's a sphere. No matter how you explained it to him, he just kept getting stuck on, well, it's a sphere.
You know, it did take him through the equatorial plane and how it's functional. Pinky or something. I know you were talking about.
Yes, you did it very well, too. Kudos.
Yeah. I mean, there's nowhere for anybody to go because you can deny flat Earth prerequisites all you like when you say, oh, well, Earth's a sphere. Why? Because of this diagrammatical example of the equatorial plane, the celestial sphere, and the extended celestial plane, with this marked and labelled as the celestial equator. Okay, how does it work? Well, with you on a plane inside the middle of the glorified protractor that's labelled Earth in this diagram. Okay, are we inside Earth? No. Are we measuring 40 degrees from a plane when we measure an angle from a plane? Yeah, I mean, it obviously must work with the measurements of a flat Earth that we measure. In this case, 40 degrees from a plane. That's how we measure. Just not from inside a frickin' ball. All your ball is a glorified protractor. That's all it'll ever be. I hear that annoys some people. I mean, you don't have to like it. This is a diagrammatical example of the world that you think you live on. No, it doesn't work like that. You're never on a ball describing the light movements of the stars with respect to the celestial equator. You can only be in a glorified protractor. Now, if I paint a pretty map on this, if I paint little land masses on this ball, will that mean that you feel a little bit better about how the angle acquisition is diagrammatically exampled here with respect to a plane? Nah. The diagrammatical example of measurement of a plane to get angles to create the celestial sphere, to create the globe Earth, to create the equatorial plane, are all flat by prerequisite. That's what you're measuring. Angles from a plane. Same with directionality. That's all you'll ever measure. No discussion can take place in this subject arena without using flat Earth measurements. Everybody uses them. There never was a debate, ever. Just the illusion of a debate. That was said by William Shatner. He said that the flat Earth is what he experiences. And that's, as far as he was concerned, what the world is. But the illusion is of the ball. And he's absolutely correct. The idea, the illusion of being on rather than in, as it is factually and mathematically conjured from a flat plane, a ball, is the illusion that you're on a ball. The reality is, Earth's just measured flat. The creation of the ball relies upon foundationally Earth to be measured flat. Now, that is the cognitive problem that most people have got with me at the moment, because they don't know what to do. They're confronted with me, and all I do is sit and wait until they use a flat Earth measurement. And then what do? Tell me that it's not actually theirs, that they don't want to use, in this case, east and west anymore? Well, don't use it then. You don't want to use the flat Earth only directionality ascribed to this movement. Don't then. What are you going to make your argument with? Nothing? Well, there isn't an argument. To make the argument requires you whistle past flat Earth measurements every single time. Can somebody who is familiar with the English hub find out what happened to the Flat Earth 24/7 room that seemed to vanish while we were in the middle of discussing Earth's flat measurements earlier today before the live show started?
I sent a message to find out. Let me see if I got a response.
I'd love to know, because it was just, like I say, we were just in the middle of discussing a Flat Earth prerequisite measurement in a room titled Flat Earth, and then suddenly silence, and the room vanishes. Very bizarre.
I still have not received an answer yet. As soon as I get an answer from, I guess, the owner of the server, I'll let you know. Because that just vanished. First, you were gone. Then the guy asked, what happened to the guy? And I started explaining to him who you were and why we were here, and I was gone. Now, I don't know if at that moment the whole entire server vanished, but that's what I'm trying to find out.
The server was there. That's how I ended up in room labelled 5.1.
Yeah, the room, I mean, the 24/7 room.
Yeah, the room seemed to vanish.
Vanished or I got kicked.
I don't know either way. But for whatever reason, 12 years into this subject, I'm in a flat Earth room, admittedly in a server I've never been in before, so it was my first time going into the English hub, and then the room vanishes. I mean, I don't know how to explain that. I was speechless when it happened.
Now, it could be, I think they're the same crew that run the other 24/7.
You said it was politics,
yeah,
same owner.
That's DJ and AJ and all those guys. And I know DJ does not like you. So let's just say he took a quick glance and seen that you were in that room. Could have just kicked you out or just shut the room down. It is very possible.
Who's DJ?
You'll know him when you hear his voice.
Not the DJ that works with Mark Sargent, right?
Not One Deck.
Not One Deck.
No, not DJ One Deck.
No,
One Deck knows who DJ is from 24/7.
Is he the same DJ as Mark Sargent has co-hosting with him?
Yeah.
Is it? I don't know.
That guy. What's he got to not like about me?
So you point out
You serious? Mark's co-host doesn't like me. What? I've never even spoken to the guy. Why would he not like me? I don't get it.
He doesn't like anybody from your show. He has issues with everybody. All right?
Okay. He's got issues with everyone.
He has issues because people he talks to claim to have issues because they come on this show and get their faces smacked.
Yeah, that's true. And plus, you said the word nigga. Oh, I'm sorry. Just slipped. He was one of the ones that got really offended with that.
Okay.
Not the fact that somebody played a soundboard saying the word, just the fact that you tried to explain how the word is racist and not racist.
Does he not know the rules when it comes to using that word? I am allowed to use it because I am black. I understand that I don't look very black, right? But these are facts. My dad was a teacher in Zambia. People think I'm joking when I say this. I'm not joking, right? I can say it. Like, if you are gay, you can get away with calling people an FAG. Now, I can't get away with doing that. You can only call people a spick if you're Spanish. You can only call people a nigger if you're black. You can only call people a homo fag if you're queer. That's how the rules work. Do people not understand this?
Wait a second, then I got to change some things because I called somebody a blowjob, but I'm not a blowjob.
That's not a category, a race, or a religion, though, is it? That's not a country of origin.
Well, according to the new understanding of race, religion, and sex, you can identify as whatever you want in the moment. Right. So you can be anything you want to be.
Aside from the facts, right, aside from literally my dad being a teacher in Zambia, that I'm not making up, I often do joke and say, I am actually a Jewish, black, transgender lesbian. Now, obviously, people might look on that and go, I don't believe you. And I say, do not persecute me. I'm in a protected group. How dare you?
Yeah, their belief is irrelevant when you're talking about identity. It's your belief that it matters. And who can judge what you believe?
How the hell did we get here?
The only people that I would take seriously, if that was to be the case, right? Let's say somebody came to me after the show and said, look, I've got to be honest, right? As a proud homosexual, I didn't like it when you used the word beginning with F. That word to me is offensive because it's used by people who conjure spite and hatred towards the LGBTQ community or whatever, right? Somebody had an objection specifically. I'd be like, fair enough. Same goes for if somebody said, I didn't like the S word you used about Mexicans. I'd be like, why? Well, because that word is typically only used with venom and hatred. So therefore, when you say it, it immediately conjures the image of hatred in anybody's mind when they hear you or anybody else use that word. And I go, that's a coherent explanation for why it would offend you. Now, then I've got two choices. I can say, I don't care if I offend you. Being offended is not a crime. You know, you're allowed to be offended. It doesn't matter. Lots of things are offensive in life. Deal with it. That's one way I could go. Or I could have compassion and empathy and go, I understand your plight. I will try and avoid using such language in future. The problem is that the person who's got an objection about me using the N-word is white.
Thing is, though, regardless of any of that, you're just simply pointing out and he's saying, well, he doesn't like that, but Nathan is actually highlighting all the time how everybody in every circumstances measures Earth flat, and it ends the argument and gets straight to the point. I mean, let's just get on that.
I mean, I don't want to be this DJ guy's enemy, right? So, I mean, don't get me wrong, if he has got a legitimate concern about the language that I've used, get in line. There's lots of people who've got plenty of complaints about the language I use. So I can relate. It's not the first time I've heard it. I can relate, I understand. But he's not actually spoken to me. So if it is the case that someone like DJ has just taken it upon themselves to remove somebody who's been in this particular subject arena a lot longer than he has, then, I mean, fair enough. That's his prerogative if he runs that server. It's entirely up to him what he does in his own domain, if he's the king of that domain, right? I can't challenge that. Fair enough. It'd be nice to actually talk to him, though, and square any circles that need squaring. If he's got an issue with me, I'd like to hear about it. My ambition here is to pass the information that we are on the cutting edge of to as many people as possible. Now, in years gone by, it used to be people like Jaron that would stand in the way of the progress that we offered in terms of understanding the con of science. Dave Weiss did the same thing. Now, there might be people who oppose certain things that we come up with because they're incongruent with certain scammers who are actually scamming people and suggesting they'll get free energy. So I can understand, right? I can also unpack it after the fact. When those same scammers say the world's a ball because they went down to the south and point out the ludicrous nature of the measurements. While people are talking about them being in a tent to tellies or not being there at all or how the map does really work, I'll point out they travelled in a southward direction that's flat. That's the end of the discussion. But, like I say, this DJ guy, he's been around for at least a few years. If he's got an issue with me, it'd be nice if he actually confronted me with it. Because I've never spoken to the guy as far as I'm aware.
Well, you got refraction to deal with him, too. He's a big refraction guy.
Hold on a minute. Because I am the reflected curvature, so I'll deal with refraction. But apparently it seems like a lot of people are under the misconception that if Nathan uses a bad word, the Earth isn't going to be measured flat tomorrow.
Yeah. Again, something that, again, on the one hand, I think, I'd like to make friends and influence people, and DJ, whatever he's called, is just another flurf that could be on my side, but it sounds like he isn't. That's the one side. On the other side, I go, who gives the tiniest of shits? Literally. If I never talk about flat Earth ever again, azimuth will still be horizontal. The discussion that's been whistled past by the two parties we've just covered in this particular show will still be using flat Earth by prerequisite, whether they realise it or not. And those are axiomatically tied to all Earth measurements in many different ways that anchor the facts of flat Earth measurement to Earth's surface without any need of intervention. So if there's some clashing of heads in a particular subject arena, in this case flat Earth, it doesn't change anything. I don't need consensus behind me. I don't need support. I do need to keep the lights on and pay the bills. And if there's people actively working against me, that obviously doesn't help me feed my kids, when I'm talking specifically about things that are directly tied to the subject matter where people hate me, even though they're alleged to be on my side. That to me seems weird. Why have I got somebody like this DJ guy hating on me as an absolute veteran on the cutting edge of this subject? You know, if it's because I've said the word nigger, I don't buy that. I don't believe that. That sounds like an excuse. But I could be wrong. Yeah, if you're out there, DJ, I'd love to have a chat with you. If you have issues with me, more than happy to talk them through. If you don't care, that also is kind of worrying. It's like, why don't you care? Got an audience. Definitely being watched by people. I am of influence to a degree and in the same subject matter as yourself. You'd think we'd be aligned with one another. Wonder why we're not. Very interesting. Also inconsequential to the subject. It'll still be flat regardless of we're friends or not. Yeah, let me know. If you do get an update on why that room vanished, I'd love to know. Look at that. Doesn't time fly when we're having fun? Did you all enjoy the show from Discord? Yes, Nathan.
Yeah.
It's been great. Thanks, Dank. In case you're unaware, yesterday I did release the 8-hour worldwide debate session from about a month or two ago, which has been in my members only section for that long, till when it was first recorded. Now, I've got a couple of other shows since that have gone to members only that are also available to my members that aren't currently available to the public, from the same debate arena. That's Worldwide Debates. Shout out to Riggs. So check him out if you would be so kind. If one of the mods can put a link to Worldwide Debates so people can check out that server, they might be interested, given that I did actually release an 8-hour extravaganza that's already been kind of used and watched multiple times by a lot of my members. So I had quite a few views before it was even released to the public, as it's obviously long and therefore people have gone back to it on multiple occasions as members to watch it. But that has now been released to the public. So a lot of people moaned at me, why isn't this available to the public? Why is this behind a paywall? Why can't I? Blah, 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 blah. You're like, okay, well, eventually it'll be available to the public. Now it is. It's called Worldwide Debates Part 5. It's available below. So check out the videos section on the Nathan Oakley 1980 channel. If you want to also, like my members have done, wade your way through that 8-hour extravaganza of debate in regards to Flat Earth. There is no debate, as I suggested at the beginning of this show. It's just a session of me waiting for the so-called opponents to use the Flat Earth prerequisites like directionality, and then point them out, and then lots of rumpus ensuing with them suggesting that I should be answering their questions. Very interesting watching. Good viewing. Check it out. Also, shout out to Kevin Bacon. Thank you very much, Kevin Bacon 97 for the super chat. Always a great show. Cheers, Nathan and FED panel. Oh, really appreciate the support. Thank you very much indeed for the super chat. Much obliged. Anything else anybody wants to add? If not, I'm going to round out this live show.
Plus, DJ's got a lot of issues because at times back in the day when we used to do the treatments, but that was somebody else's show. But at the time, you still were affiliated. So there's a lot of bad blood on his side. Like we just move on, right? But a lot of people hold they hold grudges. You know, they're a little offended.
Yeah, like I say, Neil, I can look at it two ways. One, I can think, oh, I must build this bridge so we can build the consensus of flat Earth with a unified message. On the other hand, I think, who gives a toss? If this guy doesn't like what we do, what I do, who I am, who cares? Earth's still going to be measured flat tomorrow by absolutely anybody who ever refers to any measurements of Earth. It doesn't matter, really. It's no big deal. I mean, it would be nice to have more friends. Obviously, it's nice to have more influence. It's nice to be liked. But I don't need it. Neither does flat Earth if I anthropomorphize it like the guy did at the beginning of this particular show.
Has anyone came across that guy before?
Who, DJ? He's Mark Sargent's co-host. Oh, do you mean the guy who was in the panel on the reaction that we just did? I've never heard of him. What was his name?
Or something Monday.
Maybe somebody in the chat has heard of him. Please, can you let us know if this guy, is it the JPR said? Is that what it is? And the JP, is that it? Is that him? Hello? Can you hear me? Is this thing on?
I can't see his name on his screen. It's something Monday.
Okay. I don't know. I honestly don't know him. I've never heard of him before, but I haven't exactly got an algorithmic favoritism offered to me, and I can only assume that translates to quite a few other flirfs that aren't being shared with me. So I've not heard of him.
I just got a message about the equator. We don't know what we're talking about. It is exactly halfway between North and South poles, and it divides the Earth into northern and southern hemispheres. Why don't you get a grip?
No, it doesn't. So there's no spherical anything when you describe azimuth. Yeah? That's north. That's south. They are horizontal degrees. When you describe degrees from north, ipso facto, they are horizontal. They're not forming anything hemispherical. You think azimuthal degrees in the horizontal form something spherical. Okay. I mean, you can believe that. You can believe that when you go beyond the minimum flat Earth elevation angle to Polaris, that's the equator, that somehow the system becomes spherical when you go a little bit further. That just means you can't see Polaris anymore when you measure it flat when you can, and when you travel flat in a direction. So you can believe that azimuthal directionality has something to do with sphericity. It doesn't. Like I say, feel free to demonstrate to me where directions travelling south has anything other than a horizontal degree ascribed to it. It doesn't. So me asking is also kind of benign. Believe that if you want. Fine. You know, if that's what you want.
He said the line passes through 13 countries across the globe, including the equator, Brazil, and Kenya. So all of these things we're going to throw out the window because you say it's measured flat? No, we don't say it's measured flat. You say it's measured flat as well.
Yeah, dude who's using south, okay? South is flat. That's it. End of discussion. You don't have to like it, but south is flat. It's a degree from north in the horizontal. Nothing more to say about it. But like I say,
this thing he sent me says, the equator acts as the foundational starting point from which all global latitude is measured.
Well, again, a contradiction in terms. Global latitude, they're degrees, measured from horizontal. They're with respect to the equatorial plane, and anything that represents a hemisphere will be the protractor that I described the globe as. Now again, here's a diagrammatical example of you measuring altitude angles to a light in the sky. With respect to a plane where you can easily visualize that which I described earlier. You know, you moving towards or away from Polaris as its angle with respect to the horizon decreases with respect to a plane. Here it is on screen. Now, if you want to say, no, that means that this bit is the bit we stand on, with a very nasally adenoidal voice, you can do that. It will not change what north, south, or altitude angles are. You don't have to like it. Your world's a glorified protractor.
Well, you might like this because the additional meaning beyond Earth's geography The word is also used in astronomy. The celestial equator is an imaginary great circle projected onto the sky directly above the Earth's terrestrial equator.
And these are concepts derived in mathematics after measuring flat skies and flat plains. This description on screen, although it's represented as though it's a protractor, a glorified protractor. So we've already covered this not being the surface, right? You're not standing on this if you put degrees on it to match up with the angles that you measure to light as you recede towards the horizon or approach the horizon, with the light decreasing or increasing with respect to it. Right? Most people can understand at a fundamental level how that functions. Yeah? Well, the description of the north and the south isn't ever going to alter the view that you retain when you create a model with those measurements. They will be south and north, and the angles will always be with respect to a plane regardless. So it's just a fantasy that the extended celestial sphere with the equatorial plane and the celestial plane, which is what's on screen now, are anything other than flat Earth measurements of planes. That's exactly what they are. Now, there's a reason this line bifurcates this globe, and there's a reason there's lines diagrammatically exampled with you that can only be described as being functionally at the center point inside a ball. But these are mathematically derived conventions. The foundations for them are flat. Anything else?
Well, they do talk about the, how it goes through the oceans as well, Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans. I mean, obviously, those are curved, Nathan.
What?
I mean, obviously, those oceans are curved.
No, I mean, we've got planar surfaces that describe the surface, the equatorial and extended celestial plane with the glorified protractor of the globe Earth and celestial sphere wrapped around that plane, or those planes if you describe equatorial and extended celestial planes of reference that reference the ground. That's how you diagrammatically draw out the two-dimensional areas of equal altitude. That's how you measure angles with respect to the planar surface for the positional information with coordinates. These are all flat Earth by prerequisite and by measurement. The conventions only exist because we've measured Earth flat.
Oh dear. This is getting him very upset, Nathan, because you're not explaining why the climate is different. It's consistently warm in tropical climates, and that only makes sense on a globe. This cannot happen on a flat Earth. There's that phenomena thing again. There's that sciencey thing happening.
We've tracked the sun's position with respect to a plane. Now, if you're going to suggest that the seasons are caused by the proximity of the sun, then you're still going to be describing that convention with an average that's described with a year that's also derived from a flat planar measurement of the sun and our movement with respect to it, the analemma. These are flat Earth measurements. Now, again, you don't have to like the origin of these conventions. You can extrapolate out from the flat Earth measurements into a spherical world wrapped around you, with you moving with respect to the sun rather than it moving with respect to the angles you measure of it on a flat plane. You can do that. You can work outside of the box. But even when you do, you're still on the equatorial plane inside a glorified protractor when you describe the season changes with respect to elliptical orbital motion. The suggestion of elliptical orbital motion causing the seasons requires you be inside a ball moving around the sun. Nobody's inside a ball. Why would you be inside a ball? Oh, so it can be back engineered into the flat Earth measurements that created it, of course. Because flat Earth measurements created that convention that give you this suggestion of seasonal differences through elliptical orbital motion and an axis that tilts with respect to a plane also. Yeah, there's loads of them. There's flat Earth prerequisites up the wazoo to put you in a ball moving around the sun. Nobody's in a ball. We do measure Earth flat to create that convention, though.
Yeah, this part's a lie here because they say that Earth's surface, the northern and southern hemispheres, and forms the imaginary reference line on Earth's surface.
Okay. North and south
From
are
which
measurements.
latitude is reckoned.
Latitude and north and south. So, like the people we covered in the video, you're appealing to flat Earth prerequisites. That's north. That's south. They are horizontal. Okay? Latitude. Elevation angle measurements to the star Polaris off a flat plane. Flat Earth by prerequisite. There's no escaping the flat Earth measurements that your system's built on. There's no escaping it.
Yeah, they're not. I don't know if it's a deliberate act, but for some reason, there seems to be blinders on the fact that they're using flat Earth measurements for everything.
Yeah, there's only so long that people can still try and engage with the old school version of flat Earth versus globe Earth debate, where both sides ignore the flat Earth measurements. We've just witnessed it on McToon's channel, where they whistle past the directionality aspect being horizontal. East and west are derived from an overall directionality we call north. They're degrees in the horizontal. End statement. Not, oh, well, east could be a bit more vertical. No. They're flat directions, whether you like it or not. And you require them to have this so-called argument with us. It's laughable. The jig was up about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, when John, he's on the panel, Refracted Curvature, said, I will concede all of your globe points to you. Why? Well, because it's utterly inconsequential. If I concede to you that some aspect of this, the glorified protractor of a globe Earth, with horizontal degrees of azimuth and vertical degrees of latitude, that requires you be in a ball on a plane measuring horizontal degrees of azimuth and, with respect to horizontal, vertical degrees of latitude. That's flat Earth measurement. There's nothing to do that you can escape them. They're required. They're foundational to your belief. There's no denying how flat Earth is measured for your ball faith. So, John, when he conceded, I'll give it you all. To the same guy we covered on the video, McToon, I'll give you all of it. What can you do in response to that? Chat skank through the top of somebody for about half an hour and then say you won? That's about as best as you can do. I mean, in some ways, you've got to tip your hat to someone like Toon, because on a loser like that, the only escape is to pretend that your opponent isn't really there and just talk over the top of him, not giving him any opportunity to point out what I can easily verbally disclose to you, my audience, now. Yeah, Earth's measured flat for horizontal directionality in the form of east and west, like they were discussing. It's just the flatty on the panel that's discussing it with it is easily the lowest hanging fruit available to those people. Now, if I was there, or...
Got it.
Go ahead, Neil.
Sorry, thought you were done. He's telling me he's going to clear this up now. All right, and you can end on this. The equator, a great circle around the Earth that is everywhere equidistant from the geographic poles and lies in a plane perpendicular to Earth's axis.
Yeah, so perpendicular means at right angles too. So to be perpendicular, you need an axiomatic flat plane. When you talk about minimums, it's the angles I've described you measuring. Like this on screen. This is an elevation angle. Now, with the sun, it's the same exact principle as with the star I described, visually giving you my hands to describe. The flat plane at 90 degrees to the GP of the sun or Polaris. 90 degrees, like this. This is perpendicularity required for an elevation angle to Polaris to form that system. It's just an axiom that requires the surface be at 90 degrees horizontally to the altitude angle of the star or the sun in this diagram. Earth is measured flat for altitude angles. Doesn't matter if it's Polaris based or in this example the sun. They're flat Earth measurements, perpendicular to a plane. Yeah, that's right. When you say perpendicular to the axis, all you're saying is if you're at Polaris, It's at your zenith. You're at the 90-degree position. And then as you move away from it, the 90 always remains perpendicular to your position, no matter how far away from that star you go, or how much that star's angle drops towards the horizon. You still have the 90. It's axiomatically required and incorporated into the derivation that gives you a radial value for a circle of equal elevation, in this case, the equator. To derive the radius value, you need flat Earth perpendicularity. So that if you're going to take a convention of a distance in a straight line, as distances are, and take it into the unconventional curved distance, no, you can only extrapolate that after the fact. It's a bastardization of linear miles. When you suggest that we've got a 24,000 mile circumference, that's a bastardization. It's extracted from a perpendicular measurement of the surface level at 90 degrees to the surface level. Why? Well, you're taking that convention of an angle acquisition and minusing it from 90. That's the angle that you're minusing from 90, and then timesing it by 60 to give you the distance. That's what you do. That's how the convention works. You need 90. Perpendicular. Yeah, welcome to flat Earth. Any more for any more? If not, we'll round out. Nope. With that, I will say, if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an fun, fun, fun.
That's right. Nobody could do it. You flares can't tell me. Just explain it to me. How do you get a planar measurement from a flat plane? Huh? Explain that.
How does this flat plane directionality work on a flat plane? In fact, this flat planar directionality and flat planar angle measurement to a star only works on a globe.
Aren't you glad how that guy cleared that up with the definition of the equator?
I really hope that with time, the stupidity of the subject matter becomes more and more prevalent to the average Joe who listens to this or engages in the so-called debate. They recognise that we're all measuring Earth flat for everything we ever discuss ever. And without those flat Earth measurements, the discussion can't take place. Therefore, Earth is measured flat. There's no point in discussing any of this. It's all stupid. It's all completely benign.
Well, I think what will have to happen first is flat earthers are going to have to stop entertaining dumb questions. They need to stop trying to give them an explanation and break their question down to them so they understand how it's malformed.
Yeah, Nathan hasn't been doing that. He's been telling people he ain't answering their questions. He's just telling them what's what. You got to listen to that show.
Some flat earthers still like the argument. Unfortunately, they want to argue.
About what?
About gas pressure or Coriolis or gravity.
Okay. Let's argue about colors then. I like red.
You know, color is probably the only thing I can't tie to a flat plane right away. But give me a minute. But Coriolis need a frame of reference. Frames of reference don't bend. How are you going to explain that? Damn, what are you going to do?
I would like to take some estimates on when we think it will occur, as I described it earlier. At what point do people in the subject recognise that everybody's using flat Earth measurements to discuss the subject of whether or not it's flat or whether or not it's a ball. When do you think that will, if ever? I mean, somebody might say, I don't think it'll ever occur. There's a strong enough foothold creating the false impression of debate that this might never ever reach the common man's consensus viewpoint.
Would hope sooner than later.
You hope sooner rather than later?
Yeah, I hope. The reality of it is it's going to be hard to break into the educational system and try to mesh the two disciplines together. What we already are taught in third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade about geometry, basic geometry and geography, and ultimately then trigonometry. That is what we're talking about. You're talking about right here now. The ball stuff is all of it's made up. It's make believe. But it has all the power of the principalities on this realm. So you're dealing with something that's mighty big. So convince the educators to educate correctly, and then yes, it will come true.
Then it'll never happen. There's no way into the education system. I don't think that's possible.
There you go.
Well, that's only based on your standard that it requires us to make our way into the education structures. I mean, I resign myself to that I would not be able to have enough influence over that structure, because that structure itself is designed to keep the general populace in the mainstream narrative, the mainstream way of thinking, and there's an advantageous disposition to educating people about sphericity, so that we don't have any holes in the understanding. I think that's possibly a reason. We don't want people asking too many questions. If there are higher powers that have already figured this out, you don't have to worry your precious little head about it. So there's no more land being made. We've already figured it all out. We've explored it already. You don't need to worry about it. Go and work in a factory.
Well, this is why these grassroots efforts that you're doing, and many that I thought it was interesting during the show that you said, yeah, you're not getting any flat Earth other content for anybody else on your feeds. I'm not. Nobody is. But they're out there, and that grassroots effort is growing. It is growing. And the fact that their conversation ends with flat Earth prerequisites makes, as you've always said, the debate is over. So they either come to that truth or they waffle on about outer space and aliens and elliptics and all that orbital nonsense, and they're turned over to a reprobate mind. And that's just the way their mind is always going to think, and that's not going to change. But those who are seeking, right, will find. Those that are seeking will find. So yes, there's encouragement for the grassroots folks out there.
But what's there to find? Because it's already there. Recognize, maybe?
I don't know, Neil. This is the big question that I've always had is, how can you be taught in third grade how geography works and geometry works and how we measure mountains, how we know that the sea is level? We're all taught that. We're all taught that. All the while, that globe sits up on the...
Hold on. Then you're taught that in 1969 they went to the moon, and then you look back at the planet. So now you got to learn how all of these things comport to a globe when they don't.
Well,
right?
this is why we're at a tipping point right now, and it gets stronger. The arguments get stronger. I don't know how they can get any stronger than they are right now. Thanks to Nathan and all your guys' hard work. But look at how many flat earthers won't take the position Nathan takes. That means the conversation's over. It's your comparative on the what is versus cause and effect was perfect. Yeah, this is just what it is. That's it.
That's what I'm saying. They don't really have to find truth. They just have to recognize how Earth is measured, right? They have to recognize what was learned in geography.
Well, that's when they have to take a hard look at themselves within and realize people have lied to them. And nobody likes that. Nobody likes to be lied to. And it's much easier for them to say, no one would lie to me. No, this is a perfect realm. no, everything is fine. We're just hardworking people, and we go to church, and that's it. No one would lie to us. Well, that's one of the 7 deadly truths. Everybody's lying to you. Everybody's lying to you until you put it up against measurement, truth. You're going to be deceived.
Who's everybody, though? Because we had a lady in here telling us everybody lies.
What's that saying? It's easier to lie to someone than convince them they've been lied to.
I didn't get that, Len. Come back.
Yeah, I can't remember who penned the quote, but it's easier to lie to someone than to convince them they've been lied to.
I've heard that. Yes.
You see it sometimes play out when people are being scammed. So there's people on YouTube that expose scams, and somebody will be in the midst of a scam taking place upon them there and then, and somebody will step in, like their bank. So they go to the bank, they start saying, I need to send this money to my love interest. I've got a romantic engagement with this woman. She just needs £5,000 for the ticket to come over, and I just need to withdraw it. And the bank says, you're engaged in a romance scam. That woman doesn't really love you. And the person starts arguing with the person behind the counter at the bank. You don't know my love for this woman. So to convince that person that they've been lied to is far more difficult than convincing them that you love them in a romance scam. Convincing somebody that it's a ball is far easier than convincing somebody that it's not. Well, that's where I think we do have the advantage. If their belief, if the scam relies on flat earth measurements, then there's no escaping that it's an aspect of the scam. You rely on these measurements. What are you going to do? Tell me I'm wrong? You use them. I mean, you can deny them all you like. They're right there. You're telling me you don't have an equatorial plane. You're telling me you don't have an extended celestial plane. You're telling me that the degrees of latitude aren't from within a ball. You can say all you like, but you're fundamentally bracing against the foundations of your own belief that you're trying to convince me is true, and deny the axiomatic principles that it's built on. So that's why we are, in my humble opinion, if I was to speculate, why are we so heavily suppressed? Why are we so heavily censored? What is it that we do different to everybody else who argues about a flat earth? Well, we point out that it's measured flat for everything. Ending the discussion. There is no discussion when we are involved. And it's just a case of waiting till that arises from your opponent. You don't have to even do anything. Doesn't matter what you cover, at some point, if the discussion of Earth and its measurements comes up, someone will measure Earth flat. Foundationally, it will be required to pose a position that's spherical. It will be necessitated by a prerequisite flat Earth measurement. There is never going to be ever any circumstance where that is not the case. Ever.
And that makes you public enemies
also
number one, because you make enemies on both sides. Sorry, Len.
All right, Matt. I said maybe because we don't engage in the feast of nonsense, we don't assert things we can't prove.
Nathan's waiting for this glorious everybody freaking recognize when it ain't gonna happen. Because I told you a long time ago, you made enemies on both sides by declaring that Earth is measured flat. Because you're gonna irritate the hell out of the ballers, and you're gonna irritate the hell out of the flat earthers that still want to argue.
See, I don't actually agree with that. I think if we had the ear of flat earthers in general, they would have to appreciate how devastating the facts in the matter are for the position that they're in a so-called debate about. And I feel, it feels like there's a falsely engineered hatred from the flat earth side. Like, what is the flat earth side? Well, it's just the people with the loudest voices and the most influence. But if those people say, like they did back in the day, Nathan Oakley, FED bad, then the consensus that forms around flat earth, the false dichotomy side of a globe versus non-globe argument, can hate me. But they're already engaged or embroiled in a false dichotomy positioning of the discussion that ends the minute we get involved. So the only real way is to limit our exposure to those people. And the way to do it is by having the loudest voices say that person's just bad. Why? Is it because I talk about flat earth measurements? I was told today that this DJ guy maybe doesn't like me because I used a terminology that was played on a soundboard in his own server. This sounds engineered, doesn't it? That's not, I don't like Nathan because he ends the discussion. Is it?
Well, it is to those guys because you have to understand they have all this knowledge of heliocentrism. They want to yield that power over people that come in and don't know so much. They just know that, hey, I grew up my whole life and it's been a ball. Oh, tell me what's the circumference. You don't even know. What's gravity? You don't even know. And they lord it over regular people that just come in and like I did when I first heard it wasn't a globe, it was flat. You know, I had questions. But if you're one of these type of people that want to be the guru, then what you say right here on Flat Earth Debate is going to take away their power of being the guru. Now they can't be the guy. You understand? That's on the Flat Earth side. Now on the ball side, you're telling people directly how the ball was constructed with Flat Earth measurements. Oh, we can't have that. That we hid away in science.
I don't know, we've created our own narrative about people bracing against us because it ends the discussion from their intellectual fart-sniffing flat earth perspective. We've created that narrative to justify what occurs in terms of the censorship of what we do.
No, that's a fact.
I don't know if it is. How many people have come up to you beyond a handful of people who used to be on the panel that were in that particular category, where they did have an exemplary knowledge of heliocentrism that saying Earth flat did undermine? But beyond those particular individuals, I don't see that the general flat earther is ever going to go, what do you mean Earth's measured flat with horizontal directionality? I hate you now because an understanding of how directions work flat ends the argument, and I do want the argument. No, I can't buy that when the sentiment for the last 10 years has been, we just need a silver bullet to end the discussion. So
yeah, but
like,
they didn't come up with that silver bullet, Nathan. That's the problem.
Maybe. Ownership is whoever's arguing the point in the moment, though, isn't it? If you are arguing for a flat Earth versus a globe Earth, and then your opponent uses directionality, and you go, well, directionality's flat. It's not like I can turn around and go, I own directionality, that's mine.
So when you hear people, well-known people, on a different server, so you can't say it is measured flat because what's the dimensions? That's stupid. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And it is said, and I have heard it. But they'll fight about refraction all day long and refractive indexes and shit like that. You really either you're doing this deliberately or you're not paying attention to what's going on outside of this show.
I mean, I don't know what's going on outside the show, but if you're suggesting that a false impression of what a flat Earth measurement requires as a consequence, so if I say directions are flat, they're horizontal in orientation, and directionality is azimuth. Someone turns around and goes, well, how big is it? You're like, what do you mean big? Directions from north are horizontal degrees from north.
You said Earth is measured, all right? So you talk about measurements, so you're measuring something. You said Earth is measured flat.
Yes, degrees from north, that's a measurement. North itself is a measurement. You take out a tool called a compass and you measure it. That's you measuring Earth flat. When someone says, well, because you've said measured, it's like if someone says, well, it's quite windy today. Well, how much petrol did it consume? No, I said it was quite windy. I've measured the airspeed. No, how much petrol did it use?
I understand what you're saying. You want me to prove my point? Go in 24/7 right now, and you go in there and tell them Earth is measured a certain way. And that ends the argument.
We tried to. I tried to go into 24/7 and there was nowhere to go. You said to go and talk to the vegans. And I was like, no.
No, we went into the English hub. Go to politics 24/7.
I did. That's where I was. I was in politics. And I said, which room do you want me to go in? There isn't one labelled Flat Earth. And you were like, well, then let's go to the English hub. Because there is. And then it got disappeared as we were talking in it.
That's at the time. There's people there right now. I'll guarantee it. I'm not saying do it now, but next time go in there and then let's use our rhetoric and you see how people react to it. Worldwide debate's a different animal. Go to a predominant flat Earth server and see how you met. One Nick will tell you.
Get me a link to a room and I'll go in now. I'll get myself prepared. I'll get myself a cup of coffee. Dig out a link of wherever you want me to go and I'll do this now.
Okay.
This should be fun.
Yeah, sit tight. Let me get the link and then we could all jump over there. If there's even a there, because sometimes that happens where they have different rooms and like later on in the day, you'll go there and then you'll see the 24/7 room for Flat Earth debate. But a lot of times in the morning, if nobody's there, you don't even see the room. And who knows? We might go in there and get kicked right out. Let me see. I'm not seeing anything yet. I'm not seeing 24/7 Flat Earth. What's going on here? What, they retire? All right, hold on. Let's try this again, because sometimes it just disappears. Okay. Politics.
I'm not seeing it either, Neil.
Yeah, I don't see anything with Flat Earth debate.
Good morning, everybody. I think the guy who is basically in charge over there is that user Indio, and apparently he's really, really sick. So what I've noticed the past few days is they'll shut the normal channels down where we see the activity, and they go directly into that Flat Earth 24/7 channel. That's like their home base, if you know what I'm talking about.
You got a link for that?
Yeah, I can try to get a link over here. But then what I've noticed the past few days is they'll all hang out in there and listen to old recordings of him. So that might be why you're not seeing them. That might be why the room is disappearing from time to time and things like that the last few days or whatever. But let me go check if I can or see if they're there and let you know.
Go check it out. But this has happened way before India was sick. This is a year and a half back, and the same thing happened. Like a lot of times I won't even see the freaking room.
There's only like 3 people in the 24/7.
What's their names?
Okay, now there's only 2 people, Kingsley and someone else.
Yeah, Flat Earth Chuck. Yeah, he's a regular in the other 24/7 politics or the English hub.
So pop in there and tell them we're going to pay them a visit if they mind. And if anybody else is around. I'm going to prove this point of mine.
There seems to be a group of people in the regular English hub again. Are you saying just don't have access to it or something.
What, in the English Hub, and it says Flat Earth Debate?
Yeah, they got their usual gang in there, and it looks like maybe about 8 to 9 people right now.
Hold on, let's go to the English Hub. Let's see, because that's why I would love to go back, because I want to find out what the hell happened.
Yeah, and DJ's there, and that'd be great.
Perfect. Nathan, let's go there.
Yeah, Nathan's gonna kick us out. He's not, DJ is gonna kick everybody out. He's not a fan of the. He's already called us the FED boys, and he's not too fond. I don't know if it's the arguments. I don't know if
I
it's
was
just
right
Nathan.
then. So he probably kicked the Saturday out of it earlier. Look, I can't even
100%.
find. Where do you see 24/7? All I got is veganism. I got philosophy, veganism, politics, and religion. Ask a Christian, ask a Muslim, ask a Hindu. I don't have any flat.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they must have blocked because it's supposed to pop up right after what was it, politics and religion.
So they kicked us out. They kicked us out, Nathan. That's it. So I got politics and religion and feminism. I don't have what you have. So why don't you go in there and tell him? Just say, hey, DJ, I just want to ask you a question. Nathan wants to know if he can have a chat with you.
I'll give it a shot. I'll send him a quick message.
Say, pass the message on. Say Nathan just wants to have a chat with you. See what he says. We'll wait for you.
Yeah, like I said, DJ's not a fan of us FED boys.
Why?
I told you, and I just pulled that out. I'm remembering stuff from the past. He's the problem, and we got kicked out today for that reason. He freaking looked in, seen us, and just sniped the whole thing. And now you don't even get 24/7 Flat Earth on yours. Like I don't get it. But this guy, who is that? Flat Earth Cafe, just now talking. He got it. He's got no problem getting it. So he's going to go over there and ask him if you want to have a chat with you. See what he comes back and says. Yeah, and he was the only one that when that whole thing was going on with the book, he just started flipping out on me. I was like, what the frick is your problem? Oh, Nathan this and Nathan that. And oh, whoa. I think, what's his name? Jedi was telling me the reason why he's so upset with us over here. And I think it was because the treatments or something. Conor McGregor's fighting this guy Holloway again, part 2. He lost the first time to this guy, right? See, I sent AI Overlord a message asking him what happened, and I haven't got a response back yet. But now I know what happened, and I was right. I know my shit, boy. Tell you, when you got the discernment that Neil Cosentino has, you just know. You get this little antenna that goes up. Call it spidey sense, but I know. And I knew it was that prick.
Are there some globe deniers that don't want us hanging about, or is there some flat earth deniers?
Supposed flat earth refraction index guys. Still arguing about refraction and things like that. Fart sniffers. That's what I'm trying to tell Nathan. What we do is annihilate, make them all redundant. Even
Do
Brian
they
said it on a
cite
show.
Neil Thomas? Do they cite Thomas Young?
Probably.
Oh, cool. The very preface of that paper that establishes atmospheric refraction as a postulation of absurdity states that all measurements were done with respect to a flat plane. It's over. You can't even describe it without a flat plane.
Yeah, well, I sent him a message saying no pressure, but would he be interested in talking it out? He hasn't gotten back to me yet. From what I've seen and learned recently is definitely what Neil's saying. It's he's kind of deep into a refraction argument for FE and long distance, whatnot. But he's definitely a great orator and certainly can defend his position well educated, and I'm pretty impressed with his actual direct channel. It's almost like an FE library. Do we need it? No, because we know the argument, being that it's measured flat. But putting that aside, there's definitely some good resources over there.
Who are you talking about? Sorry, I
Talking about DJ. He's impressed with DJ. Well, I'm not. He's a fart-sniffing prick that wants to be the man. And that's the reason why we're not there. He's seen us there just trying to establish a conversation and just freaking snatch the channel and the opportunity away from us. See, now, Flat Earth Cafe can go there. No problem. Why? Because, well, he just said it. He thinks he's great.
Yeah, I'm just telling you guys I don't go over there and sing his graces or anything publicly. I'm just telling you guys what I've seen and what I think.
You don't have to. He knows who's who.
How do you know it's him that removed us?
What are you talking about? He just told you.
I wasn't here.
They could go there. That's the reason why.
Yeah, I didn't
Tell
hear
him again.
Yeah, I stepped away to foam up some coffee and then I accidentally dropped the cup and milk went everywhere and I've just spent 10 minutes cleaning it up.
If you go back to that channel, it looked like as Neil was scrolling through the channel you guys would need, the 24/7 FE channel just doesn't show up. But then as I was scrolling through the list with them, it's right there for me. So I would assume, Nathan, it would be the same if you opened up the channel at this point.
No, I got that bit. I could see that for myself, but how does that identify who has removed us specifically?
Well, that I'm not sure.
Whoever did it.
He does not like us.
Whoever did it has the right to that server.
And that's DJ.
Block.
Listen to me.
Neil, I didn't hear what he said because you're talking through him.
That's refracted curvature. He doesn't know anything about 24/7. I do. Go ahead, John.
I was just going to say, whoever has blocked you from seeing their information and them seeing you has to have that kind of authority on that server. And I'm sure that's a very short list of names.
Which is DJ. Okay? I know who the freak did it. Howard, bitch, punk.
You don't know it's him. It might not be.
Nathan, it's him. You can't see it. I can't see it. Flat Earth Cafe can see it. And I bet if Fisherman in a Box goes over there, he can see it. Only you and I can't see it. Isn't that a little strange?
Yeah, that doesn't mean it's that specific individual. Unless
yes, it is. He's the one that monitors that freaking channel, the English hub. It's him.
Okay. Why is it called the English Hub?
It seems like it's primarily to teach English, and then they brought Flat Earth in as a mechanism for foreigners to kind of help refine their proficiency with the English language.
What?
That's funny because when me and Nathan went in there, we couldn't understand the word two of those freaking people were saying.
Regardless, what? How loose a connection do you want? I want to brush up on my English speaking skills. Therefore, Flat Earth is a good conduit for that. That doesn't make sense to me.
I can't defend their logic, but here we are. Any luck, Charlie? I saw you jumped over there.
I mean, I'm not that fussed. I mean, it's not like there's other servers that we can't be in. There's plenty of servers to choose from. You just like to know, right? If somebody's got an issue with us, it's nice to know what the issue is, as opposed to you just randomly get removed from a room you've gone into. Like, why?
I always thought, from what you guys told me, this was like a known history, that they weren't happy you dropped the bombs and all that, and you weren't allowed back and everything. I thought
multiple times people have come back and said, no, it's fine. No, you're allowed to go back in. That's happened multiple times.
Yeah, so we're getting cross messages, Nathan, because AI Overload will say, nah, he was never permanently banned. That was just a bunch of bullshit. There was never a meeting to ban Nathan. But on the other hand, you got pricks like DJ that just listen. Here's what I'm going to tell you what it is. You're a threat to him, Nathan. He wants to be the guru guy, and you coming in, he can't have that. He wants to be the guy. Sad. It really is sad.
You're just speculating, though.
Okay, I'm done. When I'm right, as I usually am, I'm going to bring it back up again.
You might be right. I'm not saying you're not. I'm saying that you are speculating. You don't know this for fact.
I speculate when I got this inner sense in me tells me things. And I'm never, ever wrong. I haven't been yet, especially with matters concerning this show and people. I'll give you, for instance, as soon as it happened, I said, DJ, fucking DJ. Boom, it just instantly to my mind. And I just happen to be right. Can't help it. It's just, I guess it's a gift I have. Knowing who the scumbags are.
I think
How much
DJ
does
is
a
getting
scumbag detector?
Listen, it's my upbringing. It's a very, listen, it's life and death and the lifestyle I was once part of. So you had to know who was your enemy and who was your friend. Because if you think your enemy's your friend, you wind up dead. So I have this gift where I know who is a person that may not like us being around.
Is there anything specific he said that would give you that inclination, or is it just like a spidey sense kind of thing?
He's voiced it. Told you when I went in there when the whole thing with the book went on. He just came on. Oh, you guys this and Nathan that, and no, I don't know what the hell he was saying. Bunch of shit. This is a known fact. Like Slaughter Cafe, he was saying. I thought you all knew this. Well, we all did except for Nathan.
And me, Nathan and me. I didn't know any of this. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight because they won't let me in a flat Earth Discord.
Yeah, same
Let me
here.
see if I'll send the prick a message. I'll get his attention real quick.
Okay.
Listen, you blowjob piece of shit. How dare you freaking kick us out? You weren't even there.
Yeah,
How
let
do
me
you
know how
think
you
that'll
get on.
go?
Yeah, let me know how you get on. I'd be intrigued to know if that gets a reaction.
Yeah, if he lets us back in, get a hold of me any time of day because I will not be sleeping until I know.
You know, Nathan, you used a good descriptive when you said it was devastating to both sides. And, you know, we beg for, we ask for, we pray for a smoking gun with a silver bullet. Well, once you get a smoking gun with a silver bullet, you're going to leave them all dead. They have nothing left to say. And I think that's where we are right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me change that. I don't think that's where we are right now. I know that's where we are right now.
It was a lot more fun when we thought they, you know, had the opportunity to say something, you know, when they could back their claim, you know, like we'd given them that opportunity. Sad. Really broke up about this whole being kicked out of the Discord server.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
what I
one of
did
the,
was I sent FE Jedi a message because me and him, we got this little connection there. So maybe I'll get an honest response out of him to what the frick is going on here. Because, I mean, geez, flat earth debate, we come in and we want to, like, you know, talk to people about it.
well, we wanted separation from the conspiratards. We're getting it. I don't know what the problem
Yeah,
is.
careful what you wish for.
Hey, guys.
Yeah, that's
Hello.
true.
Yeah, Eli, you tell us what's going on, Eli.
If I could, I would.
Oh, so you don't even know, but you do know that DJ's a little bitch.
Oh, what happened?
Then we went into the English hub, and then mid-conversation we just got removed for no reason.
Were you allowed in English Hub?
Well, I don't know any reason why I wouldn't be.
We got in there. It was me, Nathan, and it was a couple of people, not a lot of people, came in and they started asking questions. Nathan goes to answer. He disappeared. I go to answer. I disappeared. And then the room disappeared from just mine and Nathan's sight. But anybody else could go there and see the 24/7 room. So that's DJ. He's a little bitch.
So he actually got back to me. If you want, I can kind of relay the message. He said it was okay. A little bit lengthy in word, but said Nathan has his own style. It's not suitable for the English Hub server. Swears a lot, yells and screams. Isn't possible at the English Hub server. AI overlords the owner of the Politics 24/7 Flat Earth channel. You know, if you could convince AI Overlord to let Nathan back on that server after he got banned for screaming out N-word over and over last time, then he can run shows from that server, but not from the English Hub server. That has strict rules. He mentioned the whole worldwide debates thing he watched, and he wasn't pleased with, with all the graphic
He's a
descriptions.
little bitch. Get his fucking skirt on.
That's basically the message. And he said, feel free to share.
That's his prerogative, and it also makes sense. So,
yeah, I said appreciate
he
the
wasn't pleased with Nathan having 20 guys jump on top of him and Nathan wrecking
No, that
them.
don't count, Refracted. They don't look at that. They just look at Nathan. I'm surprised at you, Eli.
you can't be surprised at me if you understand what I'm saying. So ask me what I mean if you don't understand.
What do you mean? Because you said that makes sense. What makes sense?
If Nathan is not willing to cap himself, and if a Glober or 20 of them, if he allows them to trigger him, he can't be there.
Oh, so I've never heard Indio get triggered or AI get triggered.
Not in English Hub.
Well, he could have waited to see what happened.
To be overtalked?
Okay,
Are they allowed to be overtalked?
The standard is, right, a guy can go into the English Hub and tell me that 52 million people are evil. That's okay.
Yep, that's exactly what happened.
And then I get removed. Okay, so what I'm hearing is DJ will allow the most egregious racism that is possible in his server, but not me. Okay, I understand.
And the funny thing is, it's called the English Hub. Hold on. And a guy came in and said, hold on, Eli. Guy came in and outright said, English, they're evil.
That's basically
okay.
it. He basically told me that the English, the people from the UK are evil. And I said, there's 52 million people in this country. And he said, yeah, evil. That's tolerable.
In that statement, actually, those are statements that get people muted and kicked most of the time. So I don't agree, because my experience is people who do act like that do get removed.
My bad.
In English Hub, specifically.
Come on, okay, guys, he's really going to hide. You're going to let this guy hide behind that? He don't like him. It's fine. I'd be happy if I'd be happy if he would just be a man and say, I don't like you, Nathan. I don't want you around. So don't hide behind no bullshit.
Hey, you're either going to play the game or you're not. You don't like his room and you don't like how he's acting behind the door. That's understandable. You also don't have to really care.
Yeah,
it's not a big deal.
Look here, Elijah, I'm losing sleep over this. Okay.
It's just, here's the
Keeping
thing.
me up at night.
Eli, hold on. Here's the thing, Eli. He could have came in like a man and said, Nathan, I'm sorry, bro, but this is how it's done here. And you don't, exactly what Planet Cafe said. Instead, he just freaking snanked us, left us to wonder what the hell happened. Cowardice. I can't believe I got to explain this to people. You either be a man and confront somebody, or you be a bitch and hide behind the scenes, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Either way, you're hiding instead of confronting. He's a little bitch that all he wants to do is talk about refractive indexes and seem like the intellectual of the freaking... Oh, give me a break, you moron. I ain't got time for freaking retards like that. Why'd you go there anyway, Nathan? Who suggested that to you?
You did.
Oh, shit.
I get it with the English Hub if that's meant to be for foreigners to like discuss topics and get a better grasp of English with folk. But the mod who keeps claiming Nathan's racist for breaking down some shite that he had pushed on him. Nathan wasn't being racist. He was explaining the situation. So that's just ignorance.
myself have never raised my voice to anyone except for Brian's logic. And that's between me and Brian. So why am I banned? Seriously, I'm losing sleep. I can't handle it. It's weighing on me.
Well, that's the part that's not justified. And the thing about the world is you realize, oh, snap, most people don't care about what's right. I mean, and I can get mad every single day about realizing the world doesn't work the way that I think it should. I'm tired of that.
What do you mean, Eli? The world's got to work the way I want it to work.
Hold on a sec, Elijah. I think I might be able to sleep tonight. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sleep is important.
Come on, Eli. When it comes to this topic, really?
Yeah, like you gotta accept that if majority of the people don't care, like that's the reality we live in. The majority of people are ignorant and brainwashed and, not seeking the truth from within themselves. That's the world we live in. I mean, and the Bible and every other book has been telling us that that's how we are and that's our condition, and it's been that way since as long as humans have been writing stuff describing us. So
hell as old as time.
I got a question.
I'm not going to keep being.
Who's DJ and what is the English hub? Because
some random Discord.
I got to. Oh, okay. I thought it was something important. Never mind.
No. Listen, I need a better one. Flat Earth Cafe, tell us who DJ is, just the way you told us who he was before. Please. Because that was so awesome.
Well, thanks. I don't know if I'm going to remember exactly how I described him. From what I've seen, is he's a smart, educated man. However, he dives deep into the refracted argument and long distance measurements. But with that, he does maintain a very kind of good channel that has a lot of great resources. It doesn't have maybe the prime resources we look for. Earth is measured flat, and all the good support for that. But there is some good stuff there in general.
So the main thing is he doesn't end the argument. He's got a bunch of other stuff to argue about.
Like I kind of thought among those decent resources on his channel, a great one would be plane surveying. I'd like to see that there because I think that would kind of drive the discussion more towards what we discuss here.
Does he have that?
Well, hold on a second. How can you have a good resource about a topic that doesn't have any information on that topic?
Right, I get your point, John. And from the perspective of this channel, you'd say there's nothing there. But what's not there, the observations, the videos to support it and whatnot, it's just very well organized and easy and quick to reference.
Yeah, I also think it's good stuff.
Well, since the only relevant data when you're talking about the nature of the surface of Earth is measurement, he doesn't have that. He doesn't have the relevant data to the topic.
No, he's got the distance to the geometric horizon being too far, John. I mean, he's not mentioning that the distance is a flat Earth prerequisite, linear and flat, but, it seemed too far to take into account.
No, that's a refractive index. So you're not counting for the refractive index.
I think it's in there. I think it's just muddled with how globy the Earth is not. Because when he's talking about laser tests, that's in fact what he's doing. He's talking about a horizontal measurement When a glober is like, well, curvature and blah, 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 the question is, well, where? Validate that then.
There shouldn't be a question. There should be those are horizontal distances. You realize that?
It's not his fault that retards are going to have follow-up questions. I mean, so do we, even though it doesn't make sense. They're always going to have follow-up questions. Doesn't matter how good you package anything.
Just out of interest, Neil, did you send me a link for somewhere to go or not?
What's that?
Before I spilt milk everywhere while I was foaming up my coffee, I suggested that you get me a link and I'd go somewhere. I just didn't know if you'd actually sent somewhere for me to go.
No, I couldn't go there. I wanted to go back to the place, but it's nobody's there. I think Indio's sick or something. So that's why we got back into the Flat Earth English hub conversation, because 24/7 there's nobody there.
How about just worldwide again?
Well, worldwide debate's not going to settle. Hold on, John. Worldwide debate is not going to settle the dispute I just had with Nathan and how people feel about what's being said here, because there's just a bunch of ballers there and random flat earthers, but not the people of the ilk of DJ that cannot stand Nathan. That's what he's saying. I don't like him. He's foul mouth. I'm worried that a guy said all English people are bad. He's okay because he don't say the N-word.
Neither do I. I mean, when it gets played through my show and I have to justify it to an audience, then yeah, I'll use it in the context that it was being played as a soundbite from a soundboard in a server that subsequently banned me. I mean, the hypocrisy we've covered many times in that regard, it doesn't seem to make any difference. It's like, oh no, but he used that word. What? In response to somebody playing it in a soundbite into my show that's going out to a live audience.
Yeah, no matter how you try to explain that or get them to understand that, you're the wrong guy here. Because you said it a certain amount of times, Nathan. You understand? There's a count.
Doesn't count if it's from a soundboard, I see.
Right. The soundboard could have said, we got to get rid of these niggas 20 times. But the fact that you said it 21 times, Nathan, bad.
Didn't say it 21 times. 18.
Damn. That's a lot.
It was a joke.
Hey, did you British guys have a civil war where you killed each other over slavery or something?
No, that doesn't get that. I found something out in American history since it was the 250th birthday, right? But in actuality, down in the South, the native Indians were lining up with the English because they wanted to stop. The English were trying to stop. This is what was said in the show. Their land being taken even more from the colonists. Now, I don't know if they're just spinning it that way. I'm just saying, I never heard that side of it before.
No, this is what the English people promised them to help. That understood.
Well, supposedly before the whole thing jumped off into a war, the colonists were trying to take more and more lands from them, and the English were trying to preserve them getting their land taken away. I guess they felt guilty. I don't know. I'm just saying this is a part of history I didn't hear.
Well, the land was wealth, right? As the colonies grew in wealth, the English Parliament wanted to control that growth. So yeah, they were trying to slow them down from their westward expansion.
Right, and there was this one Indian, I forgot his name, Sitting Coach or something, that really freaking wasn't having it, man. And just ripped through the colonists.
the Cherokee created an entire state with a charter, and it had been accepted by Congress and everything. And South Carolina and North Carolina just went, nah, piss on you.
Yeah.
And like done the Trail of Tears.
My thing is this. I understand the guns. Where the guns? We all know about the guns. But if every single tribe would have united, all the Indian tribes that were in America would have united, do you think they would have been conquered?
They were decimated by their immunities were decimated long before they ever seen any white people. The diseases moved faster than the settlers did. You know, so that there wasn't enough of them to unite.
I got you.
You know?
And prior to that, they were too busy killing each other.
Well, that's the part I'm getting at. If they would have stopped killing each other and united. Well, listen, there was another thing said. There was this one lady that came on. She goes, you know, you see the the Revolutionary War, and you see these guys in nice suits and white wigs and nice and clean and proper. But it was very bloody. America was founded on blood. Can you tell me a country that wasn't? I mean, hello. Anyway, this is boring. Let's get back on that blowjob DJ. I'm going to send his ass a nice, respectful message.
Unless there's another server you could point Nathan to, because I think he's got a taste for blood today. He's been keen to go in over him.
No, I'm alright. I mean, it can wait. It's not like I've got any bloodlust. It's just, you know, just mixing it up, innit? Why not?
Well, I won't be sending him a message. He blocked me. Fucking coward bitch. Nathan, you're just too darn mean.
Whatever. I mean, that is true.
You gotta
so.
be nice. You can't offend people. You can't call them retard ballers just because they say retarded things. Doesn't matter that they sent the authorities to your home to try to take your children away. All of that stuff, that don't count.
Yeah, before I go back to work, creepy baller crap, you know, stalker on the phone or threatening to murder us or, you know, calling CPS and child protective services on our children, and we're not supposed to procreate, or we need to get a job and other crap. Yeah, man, get out of here.
The DJ doesn't mind, according to DJ over at 24/7. That's okay.
Yeah, no, get lost with your criminal crap. Then it goes beyond, just how we measure the earth flat and the earth's flat. Yeah, you being butthurt and criminal. Get out of here.
Are you just coming in, CC? Do you know what happened today?
No, I just came in on my lunch break.
Oh yeah, me and Nathan went into the English Hub, and there was a couple of people there. People were going to start coming in, and people from our, flip side server were coming in. There was 2 new people that we never seen before, and they just asked some questions. One guy said English people are bad, England's a bad country, whatever. The other guy was asking about flat Earth. So as Nathan started breaking it down, he got kicked. Then when I said, he probably just has an issue with he'll be back, I got kicked. And then the whole server was removed from just my eyes and Nathan's eyes. And it was DJ that did it. A little bitch that can't handle some language. I don't know. But he wasn't man enough to come in and say, look, Nathan, I don't want this here. I'm responsible for this server, and your style's different. So respectfully, I don't want you here. That's what a man does.
Yeah, you don't just pull this crap and then act like you're all innocent. Yeah, I'd say they're standard. Yeah, we're supposed to walk on water while they can just be poop nuggets.
There you go. Now you got. See, CC gets it. We could get trampled on, but don't you dare lift a finger. You just sit there and take it, boy.
Yeah, I got fresh doormats in the store. They want some. All right.
Good.
Yeah. Get your last comment, and then I gotta go back inside and punch back in.
Well, I was going to bring up how a lot of Christians don't realize that they think we're there to be doormats. But I don't want to turn it into a Christian conversation. It was a big one yesterday, and it was too much for them to handle.
I thought I was out, but they keep bringing me back in.
Well, you know that, fisherman. A lot of Christians think that we're there just to be doormats. No, Jesus said, turn the other cheek. Look into what that scripture means.
Well, we keep using the smoking gun reference, the silver bullet reference, but it really is a double-edged sword, and that cuts going in and it cuts coming out. And that's not easy for you. You want to be holding the sword, not at the other end of the sword.
You're darn straight. Now, I'd like to be on the other end of the sword when it's the word of God cutting. because you want, you walking in the wrong way. You don't even realize it, but that word of God comes and it does a little surgery on you. That's the good part of the knife. You want that, but not the part that takes your head off.
Yeah, that's the truth. Going back to the earlier part of the conversation as to the devastating part of the simplicity of measurement and directionality and all that this channel offers and provides in just simplistic terms. The reason it hurts so much, and this will be an interesting project, I'm kind of thinking right now of putting this together. Who do you kill with all of this? Well, you kill Werner von Braun, you kill Walt Disney, you kill NASA, you kill Neil Armstrong, you kill the President of the United States. You're killing a lot of people with this who hang on to that heliocentric narrative. And that's more than most people can stomach, especially if they've aligned themselves with that. When you become your ideology, when your ideology dies, so do you. So, Christ said, come out of this mess. Come out of this. Come out of the world. Don't be a part of it. I mean, that's simple. That's just simple. But the bloodbath that's left around, and it's either this biblical truth or any other biblical truth, it's going to leave people bloody. And it should be a warning to them if they're still breathing bloody, but too many times it's not. As an interesting aside, I came across Will Goodrich's Truth is Stranger Than Fiction from 8 years ago when Trump introduced the Space Force. And he put a piece together. I guess you can go over to his channel and find it somewhere if you scroll around. But he put music to it, and he had twerking stormtroopers and all the ISS footage and the look of dominance as Neil Armstrong sat there after they'd come back from the moon, and he was just so depressed and devastated. The whole piece was hysterical. It's been 8 years since Space Force was introduced. That blows my mind. And they still have no tanks, no space cars, no space planes. They don't have any transportation to protect the very
he's working on it. He's
domain
working
that
on
they
it.
say they protect.
Listen to me. I am working on it. Space Force will be in operation.
Okay. Okay.
Right, is it time to round out in that little silence? I think it is. With that, I am going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G+ panels for making today's after show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, joining as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley and I will see you all in the next video.
Millimeter, it be accurately measured. It's measured flat, direction up and down. Flat level we at, flight over ground. Descending from that breeze, heading in degrees. Horizontal, flat.